a new sense of hope, all bonded by a common goal. Every season will turn out different, each with its own tale to tell. Miller Park provided the home for this story, proving once again that home is where the heart is. In baseball, we don't remember games, we remember moments, and this season was no different.
Fielder down the line, that is a fair ball! That's your ball game! Corey Hart scores! And the Brewers come back and win a thriller. Fastball, McGee launches one. This is way back there. And it's gone! A grand slam for McGee! Cameron at the track, he reaches up and he caught it! Oh my goodness! Mike Cameron! Hardy in the right center field. That's pretty well hit. Back goes Ethier. And it's gone! J.J. Hardy puts the Brewers on top. Take a slide, Telly. Whoa! Hey, that was pretty cool. I can't believe I did it. And Fielder hits one high in the air to center field. Watch how far this flies. Oh my goodness. Pulls one over to McGee. Steps on the bag to second for the second out to first. And a triple play. Oh baby. And there it goes. Fielder will watch it fly. And that's your ball game. Coach Fielder with a walk-off home run.
As the final home game of 2009 begins, many may want to forget about the standings, but it's the moments that we'll remember. Braun in attack. Does he have enough to win it? He does! His first home run since September 11th. And this is a game winner and number 30 on the season for Ryan Braun. A lot of excitement right up until the final at-bat last night here at Miller Park. It's an outstanding day for baseball fans still coming in. Going to have a really nice crowd for the final home game of 2009. And just looking at those memories, you just can't help but getting chills up and down your spine. And hopefully the Brewers will close out on a good note and get into 2010 in good shape. Here's the Phillies batting order. Our subway lineup for the Phillies. Look out for Ryan Howard as we go to our first pitch. Dave Bush on the hill for the Brewers. And so it's going to be Jimmy Rollins leading off for Philadelphia as we get right into action here on this Sunday afternoon.
And you better be ready when Dave Bush is the starting pitcher. He doesn't mess around.
That's right.
He gets out there, gets ready to go.
Bill Schroeder, Craig Kashan on board with you here this afternoon. Brian Anderson on national TV duties this afternoon on TBS, getting ready for the playoffs. He'll be rejoining Bill and the crew on Tuesday out at Colorado when the Brewers go out.
Yeah, missed a good one last night, didn't he?
Sure did. This one slapped into right down in the corner, and that's a home run to lead things off for the Phillies. So Dave Bush, who struggled mightily in his last start, first batter gives up a home run to start this contest.
Now that's what Jimmy Rollins will give you. He'll give you some good pop at the top of the order. Dave Bush, not a guy that gives up a lot of home runs, only the 19th that he's allowed this year. Had trouble with his control his last time out. That fastball was supposed to be on the inside corner and left it out over the plate.
That brings up Shane Victorino. Bush last started on Tuesday against Chicago, 7-2 loss, but lasted just an inning and a third and gave up 5 earned runs. And he's ahead of the count on Victorino, 0-2. This one misses inside. 1-2 is the count.
That Brewer pitching staff, for the most part in this series so far, first 3 games, has handled the top of the order pretty well. It's been the bottom of the Phillies order that's been doing the most damage.
Well, that's a good point, but today Rollins actually homers for the second time in this series. And now Victorino grounds out to Escobar.
Now let's check out the Piggly Wiggly scouting report on David Bush. He only threw 52 pitches in his last outing, very uncharacteristic of Bush. Had 4 walks, that's a season high for him. Hoping to get back to early season form. He was 3-1 with a 4.38 ERA in his first 2 months, and has had good success against the Phillies. He's won his last 2, including taking a no-hitter into the 8th inning at Citizens Bank Park back in April.
Well, that was a fun one back in April. That's the last time these 2 teams hooked up in a series. So they play in the first month of the season and the final month of the season. And a lot has happened in between. The Brewers with high aspirations, of course, in April, and kind of got on a roll in that series in April, Rock.
And they needed that badly because they were starting to think they could not win in Philadelphia. Philadelphia had been taking them apart in recent times and went in there and won 2 out of 3.
Utley flies to center. Cameron on his horse and can't get it off the wall. Braun chases it down. Utley's on his way to third. Here comes a throw in from Braun, and he'll get in there. So it's a triple for Chase Utley with 1 out.
Well, that ball just kept going, didn't it?
Boy, it sure did.
Off the bat, it looked like that was going to be a routine fly ball, but just kept going. Everything opened up here at Miller Park. Glass panels, roof, a jet stream in the gaps, and that ball just didn't come down. First hit of the series for Chase Utley, oddly enough. Now fastball that missed its spot, and Chase Utley hits it hard into the gap. Just kept going and off the wall.
It's interesting when you sit in here and look at the flag inside this ballpark. It is deceivingly looks like it is actually blowing in or across, and that ball going right out to the flag. And you're right, Rock, it just kept carrying and carrying and carrying.
Yeah, you see that all the time, blowing in off the lake, and no matter what the wind is doing with the flag, it just seems like it's going to carry.
So 1 out, Howard up, and of course he's in a battle right now with Prince Fielder for the RBI crown in the National League, and just ties him with this poke down the right field line. And Howard will go into second standing up with an RBI double.
Now Dave Bush continues his problems. As you mentioned, only an inning and 1/3 in his last time out. Walked 4. Really didn't have his good stuff. And a rough start to this one today. Getting a lot of the plate. That pitch up and in. Didn't get it in far enough, and Ryan Howard continues his hot hitting and driving in yet another run.
Phillies are hardly giving us a chance to introduce them and tell a storyline at all. They're just going to hitting right now against Bush. Something's got to change here. Jason Worth up next, batter number 5. So he's got Howard out at second base. It's already 2-0 on 3 hits for the Phillies. Jason Worth, an outstanding year, 34 home runs, however hitless in this series despite a couple of RBIs. So some of the big bats have been quiet in this series, but Philly, one of the best offenses in all of baseball. They are deep. They pick each other up.
Man, the Brewers have beat them 2 out of 3 so far, so they have been playing some pretty good baseball. The bullpen for the Brewers has been terrific the last 2 nights.
Well, if Dave Bush can settle himself here in the first, hopefully we won't have to talk about the bullpen for some time. That was not the case, however, in his last start. Ahead 0-2. Called strike 3. Big strikeout for Dave Bush there with Howard sitting at second base. 2 outs.
Yeah, caught Jason Worth looking breaking pitch. And threw the fastball right on the outside corner. Good pitch by Bush. That late action, able to catch the outside corner.
Dave Bush 2-4 in 6 starts since coming off the disabled list, but that ERA balloons all the way up to 7.76 during that time. So he's still hoping to somehow find himself before the final week of the baseball season is over. 7 games remain, including today. Raul Ibanez now up. Howard sits at second base, and Ibanez again, more power up and down this lineup. Sixth batter with 33 home runs. That's not bad.
Man, missed the first couple of games with a stomach virus, but still putting together a pretty good season. Had a huge first half.
Became an all-star. First season with the Phillies. Made a big catch out in left field yesterday, too. He's ahead of the count, 2-0. Here comes Bush. And he gets one in there for a strike. Ibanez has tied his career high in home runs with 33 this year. Kind of lost his power there for about a month, but has regained it. Has hit 6 home runs in his last 19 games. Big swing and a miss. Rivera throws out to second, and they get Howard. The throw to Alcides Escobar, and Howard caught sleeping. And the first inning now over, but the Phillies get 2 against the Brewers. Bar, and they just get Howard, or did they? Very close.
Pretty close, but a good job by Escobar and Mike Rivera. That's a sign that they give to each other. Sneak in behind the runner, and they're able to pick him off.
Final home game of 2009. She's got her beverage. We've got the Subway starting lineup for the Brewers. Craig Counsell is going to lead off in this game. Corey Hart in right. Braun Fielder. McGee back at third. Cameron against Blanton, pretty good numbers, 3 for 7, including a couple of home runs, 4 RBIs, and Escobar and Rivera, of course, just hooked up defensively. They're all ahead of Dave Bush here tonight. Counsell takes that first pitch and slaps it over to second for the first out.
Well, let's check out the Piggly Wiggly scouting report on Joe Blanton. He's been a workhorse in the big leagues from 05 to 07 with Oakland. He had 30 starts in 3 consecutive seasons. His first since that time, 30th start today. 2-0 in his last couple of starts in 13 innings, has not allowed a run. And his first start in Milwaukee since clinching the division series against the Brewers in the playoffs.
Yeah, had a real good effort in that ball game to push the Phillies into the National League Championship Series. 6 innings, 1 earned run, struck out 7 Brewers in that game. So Joe Blanton is, as you mentioned, he's the workhorse. He's spent a few years in Oakland with Brewer manager Ken Maka when Ken Maka was the manager in Oakland. Corey Hart skies this pop-up to left. Ibanez coming in and just ahead of Jimmy Rollins. A little confusion there, but the Phillies make the out. So Ryan Braun gets a chance here, and he hit his 30th home run yesterday. And he's on an elite list. Albert Pujols' first 3 seasons, 114 home runs. Ralph Kiner. Look at the names of today and the past. Eddie Matthews, so many of those home runs coming in a Milwaukee Braves uniform. Mark Teixeira, Joe DiMaggio, and Ryan Braun, 101, including his pop last night.
Something about the home series of the year for Ryan Braun. Last homestand, remember last year, the Grand Slam, the big 2-run home run against the Cubs to get the Brewers into the postseason. Last night, another dramatic walk-off home run.
This one a base hit to left field, so Ryan Braun gets on for Prince Fielder. And he's been doing that very well as of late, and that certainly helped out Prince Fielder's cause to try to win the RBI crown.
Yeah, a lot of fastballs from Joe Blanton so far. He's basically a 4-pitch pitcher. He throws them off for strikes. Doesn't walk too many. First pitch fastball to Ryan and bangs it into left field.
Brewers trail 2-0 here in the first inning. First one in there is a strike to Fielder. Ryan Howard had an RBI double in the top of the first, so he has 137 RBIs, tied with Fielder. He gets a crack here. What a season he has had. This one outside, even the count at 1-1.
Now, although the Brewers are not in contention for the postseason, it has been a lot of fun, and there's a lot of reasons to watch these games because of the RBI race between Howard and Fielder.
Braun goes to second, and Baco loses the ball attempting to make a throw, so Braun in there with a stolen base and gets himself in a scoring position. 17th stolen base of the season.
Good jump. He had a big lead. Joe Blanton relatively slow to home plate. Paul Baco not able to handle it.
This one way inside, and they check down to third base, but Prince held up. Dana DeMuth is your home plate umpire. Hunter Wendelstad, who was behind the plate last night, over at third. Doug Eddings at first, and Brian Knight at second. Counts 3-1 on Fielder, and he calls time.
Yeah, Joe Blanton hasn't given up a run since September 10th. A season high 13 consecutive innings scoreless streak. Base hit here, that snaps that.
The Brewers offense has been rolling along pretty well here the last 2+ weeks. Wheeler takes it down low, and he'll take the freebie. So first and second for Casey McGee. As you take a look at Joe Blanton, the last 2 starts, a lot of zeros on the board.
Yeah, he's won his last 2 against the Nationals and at Florida. He's only given up 7 hits in that stretch, 13 innings. Perhaps the most consistent starter for the Phillies right now. I mean, this guy's been throwing the baseball pretty well.
He's just over 16 innings shy of 200 pitched for the season. And he's done that twice in his career, so he's in a familiar role, having a good year.
It's going to be tough for him to get to 200. I mean, that's two consecutive 8-inning outings. You hope that doesn't happen today.
Correct. First pitch strikes right on for Blanton. 5 for 5 in that category. Head of the count on McGee. Had the night off last night. They look Braun back to second. Casey McGee, an outstanding rookie season for the Brewers. You can't help but continue to talk about McGee and Prince Fielder and what they have done. Prince has been there since day one, the only Iron Man in baseball, and McGee really coming on and a serious contender for Rookie of the Year.
He just continues to get stronger as the season goes on.
What's that tell about a guy's makeup, Rock?
He's tough. I mean, he's a baseball player. I mean, he's a gamer. He's a guy that you want on your ball club. Got to do some rehab of the knees. I'm not sure how they're going to handle that, but in case he's not moving around as well as he would like, hopefully clears that up in the offseason.
The 0-2 is high. So what you're saying in a nutshell is offensively he's there. Defensively is where he can improve and most likely will if his legs are free.
And he's made a lot of improvements, you know, even this year since he's been in the everyday lineup most of the time. Just doesn't have the mobility. Just doesn't move around the way he would like.
This one just misses. Evens the count at 2-2.
Well, I don't know where that missed. I'd say if that's not a strike, I'm not sure where the strike zone's supposed to be. I mean, that's outer half. That had plenty of the plate. Goodness.
2-2 to McGee with 2 on, 2 out. This one misses outside. So after Counsell hit the first pitch for the first out, the Brewers working Blanton a little bit here, trying to work up a threat with 2 outs. Good crowd here. McGee pops it up in the infield. Utley coming in, calls it, and has it for the final out. So the threat ends. 1 in the book, 2-0 Phillies. Brewers top of the second inning.
Hey, catch all the action of 2009 Major League Baseball postseason on Fox and TBS. The excitement begins on October 7th with the Division Series on TBS.
BA getting all set for the TBS postseason today. That's where he is. Doing the Cardinals and Rockies this afternoon on TBS. And he could potentially get that series if it indeed becomes a series. So Ibanez leads off the second inning with a base hit. He was stranded at home plate when Ryan Howard got picked off second base to end the first. That brings up Pedro Feliz. .268, 11 home runs, 73 ribbies.
A good pitch, that cutter on the outside corner. That is his bread and butter. I mean, the big curve ball, the cutter, he'll ordinarily throw early in the count. He's got to start getting the baseball down in the strike zone. Everything upstairs right now for Dave Bush.
Feliz pops one to Ryan Braun. Doesn't have to move too far for the first out of the second inning.
Got away with one right there. That ball middle in and up in the zone, and Pedro Feliz jammed himself on it. You see the location of it, middle in, belt high, just a little bit down on the trademark. Down toward the handle and out to left field.
Dave Bush, the Pittsburgh native, as Rock mentioned earlier, nearly had a no-hitter in Philadelphia back in April. As Paul Bacco steps up to the plate. You know, he had his family, a lot of friends around, and his parents live in the Philadelphia area. Just so happen to have Philly season tickets.
Front row seat for Dave's near no-hitter in Philly.
Baco goes the other way and gets the base hit. Boy, he's had a good series against his former team. Played here in 2002, and now there's 2 on with 1 out. Let's go back to that April near no-no for Dave Bush.
Well, you talk about an unlikely scenario, one of the better offensive teams in a very offensive-minded ballpark. Outstanding stuff for Dave Bush. First hit, a home run off the bat of Matt Stairs, a pinch hitter. There it is right there, pitch middle in. He would end up with a 2-hitter. And Dave Bush, outstanding work that particular day, part of a series win against the Phillies back in April.
And Mike Rivera was his battery mate then, and he's behind the plate now. 7 1/3 scoreless innings. That came with 1 out in the 8th inning. As Blanton steps up and attempting to sacrifice the runners over with 1 out. And this one hits him.
First pitch curveball hits Joe Blanton after he's trying to drop down a bunt. Very interesting pitch selection right there, knowing that the pitcher's going to bunt. Hits him right in the thigh, no big deal. That's not going to hurt. That big old curveball, barely enough to leave a bruise.
So Blanton on. Bases loaded now for Rollins. And Rollins led off the game with a home run, his 5th leadoff home run this year. 33rd of his career. There's only 1 out. This one misses, and Bush continues to fall behind early.
Now, kind of the opposite problem that Bush had in his last outing. I mean, 4 walks in an inning and a third, and that's very unusual. Today, having a problem getting too much of the plate with his pitches.
This one misses high. 2-0. Ken Maka looks on from the dugout.
Looks like there's some activity starting to brew down in that bullpen for Milwaukee. At least you got some guys moving around. Not sure if anybody's going to start throwing yet. Ken Maka doesn't want to let this one get away too soon.
And this one misses again, so 3-0. Yesterday night, the Phillies jumped out to a 4-0 lead early against the Brewers. But the Brewers were able to rally, tie the ball game eventually at 5-5, and then win it on Braun's home run in the 9th. Tough to do that 2 games in a row. Got to keep it close. The 3-0 in there for a strike.
Hey, remember early in the season, all the come from behind wins the Brewers had. Can't hang your hat on that too often.
So Josh Butler getting up and moving around. He will not accompany the team on the road trip. He'll go back to the Brewers training facility in Phoenix and get ready for Arizona Fall League. This one popped up. Is there enough room for McGee? No, it's going to get in the stands. So Rollins stays alive. The count now full at 3-2. 1 out, bases loaded here in the top of the 2nd inning. There's Butler.
It takes him a little bit longer to get loose than a lot of relievers. You remember Butler made his first relief appearance this year with the Brewers. He's been a starter his whole minor league career.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it takes him a while to get loose.
He's lightly throwing, still twirling that right arm around in between throws out in the bullpen. Rollins pops it up again. McGee gives it a chase, but will lose ground to the stands. Phillies forcing Bush to work hard here. 32 pitches already. And we're an inning and a third in. This is where he could not get out of in his last start, lasting just an inning and a third. Big swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Bush.
Well, a nice cut fastball right under the hands of Jimmy Rollins. Boy, that's a dandy right there. Rollins was able to fight off some pitches up in the strike zone. Bush did a nice job getting that one down and in, and got his strikeout. Boy, what a big out that is.
Shane Victorino now steps up. Base is still loaded for the Phillies. Bush trying to get out of a big jam early in the game. Already gave up 2 runs in the first inning. And right down the right field line all the way into the corner, and they will be running. 2 runs already in. Blanton will stop at third, and a double for Victorino. Boy, he wasted no time, just jumped on that pitch and set it down to the corner.
And the Brewers fortunate that it was the pitcher on first base. There would have been 3 runs in on that base hit. And Victorino probably would have been able to make it into third base. First pitch up and in. You see Victorino able to pull the hands in, hit it hard, and keep it fair down the right field line. And that's so much for that big strikeout. Victorino able to nearly clear the bases.
Chase Utley now with runners at second and third and 2 out.
Right back to where the Brewers were yesterday, down 4-zip.
Yep, that's right. Big cut and a miss by Utley. Utley had a triple in the first and would later score. Seventh batter of the second inning for the Phillies. This one popped. McGee will give it another chase, and it just gets in to the first 3 rows. Foul ball. So Chase Utley has struggled on this road trip, but then got the triple and scored in the second inning. Ryan Howard awaits on deck for Philly. This one misses inside. 1-2.
Well, this is one of the reasons why Chase Utley has had the year that he has had, hitting .290, 31 homers, 91 RBIs. He got first base open. We got Ryan Howard on deck. Who would you rather face? That's rhetorical. You don't want to face either one.
That's a meaty question right there. Have 4 consecutive batters in the lineup with 30 or more home runs. And this one ripped down the line, just foul. Well, a lot of action for Corey Hart down to the right field corner in the first 2 innings.
Well, Dave Bush has been pitching these left-handers inside, and they've been doing a good job talking about the hitters of keeping the hands in, and for the most part able to keep them fair. Ryan Howard's doubled down the line. Victorino's doubled down the line.
The Phillies with 2 runs in the first 2 innings and still batting here in the second. Runners at second and third. 1-2 is the count on Utley. This one misses low. 2-2. Of course, Dave Bush spent some time on the disabled list after he got hit by a batted ball into his pitching arm. tried to have a few outings after that, but spent some time on the disabled list and has just not rediscovered himself since then. Here's the 2-2. Down low.
Good pitch. That pitch down and away, but Dana DeMuth, very tight strike zone. Boy, it doesn't get much better than that. That's a good pitch by Dave Bush.
Dave Bush, the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania native, just 29 years old. Full count now on Utley. He steps out of the box, and through all the pains of 2009, as much as you know how hard Dave Bush works, you can't help but pull for this guy to do something positive here to end this season.
And he's had some good outings since coming off the disabled list, but his last two have been concerning, I guess.
Called strike 3. So Dave Bush works through it, but he's given up 4 runs in the first 2 innings. So now he's got to rely on his teammates, and they're coming up to the plate.
Trail 4-0. If the Brewers can overcome this deficit, they'll improve their record to 500 for the first time since August 15th. They will also finish with a winning record at home, 41-40. Right now, they are 40-40 into the last game here at Miller Park this season. And while that might sound like it's not that important an accomplishment, the Brewers have not finished with a losing record at home since 2004, when they were 36-45. And Craig and Rock, the starters that year included Victor Santos and Wes Obermuller. So this could be the 5th year in a row the Brewers could have a winning record at home if they win today.
And remember, a couple of years ago, the Brewers had a National League best 51 wins at Miller Park. So yeah, that would be a nice accomplishment, but they have an awful lot of work to do if they hope to win today.
They're behind 4-0 in this game, and Mike Cameron steps up to the plate. Had the night off last night. Appeared in a pinch hit role. He's got to find a way to spark this offense. Attempted a bunt. This time he drives it to left. And it is out of here for Mike Cameron. How about Mike Cameron? Another home run. His last 4 hits have been home runs.
Not bad. As we said, Mike Cameron, one of many Brewers that when they get hot, baby, they get hot. And Mike Cameron had a 2-home-run game a few days ago. He just drops the head on those low fastballs, and you know, when he starts seeing the baseball well, look out. Did not get to start in yesterday's ball game. Jody Garrett got to start in center. And first at bat here today, a pitch in on him and able to get the big part of the bat on it.
So Mike Cameron, our Taco Bell Who's Hot, and they have a good time with that down in the dugout. So Alcides Escobar slaps this one down the right field line, and it is caught out there. Nice running catch for Jason Worth. One more look at the home run just moments ago by Mike Cameron.
It wasn't even a strike. I mean, that ball was in on him, but see the way he keeps his hands in, he pops those hips open. And that was the first run allowed by Joe Blanton in over 14 innings of work. So he has been red hot. Mike Cameron getting one on the board here early.
So Mike Rivera steps up, 1 out. Now, how many guys can attempt to bunt and then on the next pitch hit a home run? That's what Cameron did. That's pretty good.
A lot of guys,
that.
yeah. As long as you don't, actually bunt it the first time.
Well, true. He fouled it off. But see, he thought, you know what? I got to try to do something to spark. Why don't I just stay hot and hit the home run? And he did.
Well, sometimes guys will show that bunt to try and get that third baseman in and then try and rip one by him. Mike Cameron, not a guy that has too many bunt base hits. I don't recall one this year. Matter of fact, not too many of the Brewers have bunt base hits this year. Not a bunting ball club. They like to go up there and hit the homers.
Little action going on outside the park, getting ready for a concert or something. Is Elvis in the house? He's outside the house, we know that. Our Wisconsin Powerball home run leaderboard with Cameron's home run. That makes for 23 for him. Third on the list, Fielder leading all with 43. A lot of those names you expected to see on that home run list. Certainly not Casey McGee. Things change over the course of a year. This one, pop foul caught by Howard. So 2 down now here in the Brewers' second. That brings up the pitcher, Dave Bush. So Joe Blanton on a roll and was staked to a 4-0 lead after the first 2 innings, but gives up the home run to Cameron. So it's a 4-1 game. Swing and a miss for Dave Bush.
Yeah, Blanton's one of those guys that doesn't have the overpowering fastball, but he hides it pretty well. He's got a little bit of a funky move with his throwing arm behind his back. He hides the ball well. So 90 to 91 miles an hour. Appears a little bit quicker to the hitter. That and the fact that he throws all of his breaking pitches for strikes. He's got a very good overhand curveball, slider, and a changeup. Never sure what he's going to throw at any given time. There's that big yacker right there, that curveball.
He's ahead 1-2 on Bush now. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Swing and a miss, and the Brewers do get 1 back, though. It is early here at Miller Park. And Mike Cameron stays hot. His last 4 hits have all been home runs. And he gets the Brewers on the board here in the second. Plains Farm and Fleet. You'll always find value at your local farm and fleet. By Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig and save. And by Ho Chunk Gaming, Wisconsin. Back at beautiful Miller Park. Boy, what a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Yeah, the Chicks dig the long ball. You saw Mike Cameron with one. Got the Brewers on the board. They trail, however, in this game as we go to the top of the third inning, 4-1 to the Phillies. Ryan Howard will lead off. Had an RBI double in his first at bat. And tried for another double just there, but misses foul. Swinging free and easy in this series, Ryan Howard.
That's the way it usually is with him. He's going to strike out quite a bit. I mean, he's always going to have those high strikeout totals. Near 180 this year. But when you get the power numbers and the run production, you don't mind.
The fourth player in Major League history with 4 straight 40 home run and 130 RBI seasons. The others, Babe Ruth, Ken Griffey Jr., and Sammy Sosa. You gotta like it if you're joining Babe Ruth's category.
Yeah, just like Ryan Braun, you know, that graphic we were showing. Those
right.
You know, first 3 years of 100 or more home runs. Anytime you can get on the list with Joe DiMaggio, you know you're a special player.
That's right. This one misses inside. 2-2 to Howard. McGee's got it and throws him out. Car Soup email question today comes from Larry in Kenosha. What is your favorite moment at Miller Park this season? We had some magic moments right up through the last swing of the bat last night.
Yeah, Prince Fielder had a couple of walk-offs. The one home run that he hit with that dramatic celebration at the end. I know a lot of fans would think that would be the best moment at Miller Park. I, for one, enjoyed the day where Mac McGee, Casey's son, who is suffering with cerebral palsy, threw out the first pitch with the help of Prince Fielder, threw it to his dad, and then later in the game, Casey didn't start the ball game, hit a pinch hit home run. That kind of capsulizes what the Brew organization is all about. I mean, community service and charitable work, and a guy that now is a candidate for the Rookie of the Year. That was kind of Casey's coming out party that at bat. That was a good day. That was a good moment at Miller Park.
I fully agree with you. Worth pops it up. Braun's got to come way in, and he'll make the catch, 2 down. One thing I liked about that moment that you just talked about was Prince Fielder helping out young Mac. He holds him here and makes sure he doesn't fall down on that first pitch, and Prince Fielder shows his big teddy bear side too, and of course Casey's got it.
Yeah, very emotional after the ball game for Casey McGee, thinking about his son and what he's been going through, and somewhat of the anointed mascot for the Brewers. I mean, he's the kid that he's always around the ball players, and
there he is right there.
Knows each one. He's something else. He is quite the character, Mac McGee.
I wonder what kind of hat he's got on there today.
Doesn't miss many games.
Ibanez to left, and that'll close out the third inning for the Phillies. 3 up, 3 down. Good for Dave Bush. Good for Mac. Getting starts at 11:30 at the Bradley Center Plaza with live entertainment, games, value price food and beverages. Then head inside as Coach Skiles runs a full team workout. Admission is free. Visit bucks.com for more details. Greg Council set the lead off the third. And of course the Milwaukee Bucks home right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. As you head out on the road tomorrow, we're going to head over to the Bucks training facilities as they start the month-long getting ready for the regular season. We're going to start talking with them and getting some things together for the upcoming season. October 30th.
Any predictions
they tip it off
by the pre- and post-game host of the Bucks?
I believe if they stay healthy, that they will have a good chance of getting a maybe low playoff spot in the East.
That's good.
How's that for an early prediction?
That's encouraging. It's safe is what that is.
Well, if they were healthy last year, I think they would have gotten the playoffs, but you lose your two best guys.
That's very diplomatic. I kind of put you on the spot there. I apologize. No, I don't. I like putting you on the spot.
I know you do. People know that. When you start apologizing, people know that's not true.
Yeah, I'm insincere. I save all of my apologies for home.
Yeah. No one but Kate gets to hear the apologies.
That's right.
2-2 to Council, and lifts this one foul. Greg Council grounded out in the first inning. You know, Craig really wears his emotions on his sleeve. You know, he's just shaking his head. You know, what am I thinking?
That's about as much.
He is very serious about his work.
Emotion that you're ever going to see from Craig.
Yep. Gets in front of this one. Count remains 2-2. Look at him. I mean, he's just turning inside, isn't he?
Yeah, thinking about how he can keep that fastball fair. Yep. Fastball in. What am I doing wrong?
Lifts this one to left. Ibanez has it, one down.
Well, it's time for my favorite promo this year. Visit the official online shop of the Brewers at brewers.com. Browse the largest online selection of authentic team gear, including official caps, t-shirts, jerseys, collectibles, and much more. Get your team gear straight from the source. Shop the brewers.com shop. I will guarantee when I wake up on Christmas morning, I will be able to recite that verbatim.
I tried to get to read that this weekend, but you wouldn't let me.
No, that's mine.
Corey Hart up. He evens the count at 1-1. It's funny because when Renee comes and all she's got to do is flash that card, you even know what it sounds like when she's just holding it in her hand. You don't even need to look at it.
And you know what? It's been a while since I've actually made a mistake reading that card.
It has, huh?
Yeah. Which is
that somewhere in the notes what date that was?
Which is one indication as to how many times I've read it.
One and two on Hart. Checks the pitch, and it's a ball. Corey Hart, 3 hits shy of 500 for his career. Could get that here in the final week of the baseball season. That would be nice for him. Has a 6-game hitting streak going. Has worked the count full against Blanton. Right up the middle, base hit, so make it 7 games in a row now for Hart, 2 shy of 500.
That little wrinkle in that one looked like a cutter or a short slider going away from Corey. Able to stay back long enough. 82 miles an hour, that's the slider, a real short slider that didn't do much until it got right to home plate. Corey stayed on it and able to shoot it back through the middle. Good piece of hitting by Corey Hart.
And this is what you like to see from the Brewers as they put the table setters up there for Braun and Fielder waits on deck. Ryan Braun singled in the first, stole second base. Corey thought about it now. Base hit for Braun, so 2 on for Fielder.
Well, 2 pitches, 2 base hits for Ryan Braun. He's not about to let a fastball go by from Joe Blanton. Identical pitches, back-to-back at-bats, and identical results. A base hit on the ground into left field.
Fielder straps him on and steps up into the batter's box with 2 on. Tied for the RBI lead right now with Ryan Howard at 137. Walked back in the first. Slaps at that first pitch, foul.
Joe Blanton really pounding inside both right-handed and left-handed batters. Establishing that early on. One of the reasons perhaps why he's given up 29 home runs this year. Guy likes to pitch inside, and when you pitch inside at Citizens Bank Park, you're going to give up some home runs. But he's been pretty effective in there so far today.
Well, he's given up 1 home run to Cameron so far. That's been it. See if the Brewers come out to rally here. Big swing and a miss by Fielder. Now he's down to the count 0-2. This one misses inside. With runners in scoring position, Prince is there. Huge RBI numbers. He waits for the 1-2. This one, chop foul to the Philly dugout.
Yeah, good job staying back on the changeup. That was a pretty good pitch. Going away from Prince after Blanton pounding him inside with a fastball. Goes away with a perfect changeup, and Prince stayed alive.
It's funny, if you break down Prince's game, you know, we did that yesterday against lefties. We just showed you with runners in scoring position. If you average it all out, the numbers, even though you break him down, he's still basically a 300 hitter. Drives in the run, has the power no matter what the circumstance seems to be.
And in situations like this, he's willing to shorten up and shoot at the left.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Blanton gets Fielder. So 2 down.
Big curveball. Well, he established inside early on in that at bat. 3 consecutive fastballs in on Prince Fielder. Prince swings at one off the plate. And he was able to stay alive on a pretty good changeup, and then Blanton finishes him off with a nice curveball. Down and in. That's what we're talking about with Blanton. I mean, he throws all of his pitches for strikes and locates them very well. That's a good sequence.
Well, despite all those home runs he's given up, his ERA at 4.2, so that's not too bad. He's still enjoyed a lot of the success. Actually, overall, it's 3.82. Means he's not putting a lot of guys on either. McGee's up there. The 1-0 on the way, in there for a strike. Casey McGee popped to second in his first time up in the first inning. Rookie of the Year. A lot of those signs passed out on this homestand here at Miller Park. The other side says MV Prince.
Got to get me one of those.
There they are. A little keepsake for the final homestand. Over 3 million fans for the second consecutive year. A lot of giveaways on Fan Appreciation Night last night. None better than the home run delivered by Braun, though, to end the ball game. Over 40,000 on hand last night.
And the bullpen problems for the Phillies continue. That's starting to be a concern for them as they approach postseason.
There's some options there, but there is some concern. This one just misses. 2-2. And you saw those numbers. Casey McGee with runners in scoring position. 550. Corey Hart waits at second. Ryan Braun at first. 2 down. McGee pops it to center. Ball carrying out there, but it's not going to go far enough. Victorino's under it in the shade for the out. So Blanton gets out of it. 3 complete. 4-1 Phillies.
Jimmy Rollins, the first batter of the game for the Phillies, led off with a home run against David Bush. Put the Phillies ahead, reminded me of a playoff game last year. Mike Cameron answered for the Brewers. Their lone run so far against Phillies right-hander Joe Blanton, who's been mixing his pitches very effectively. He stranded runners at first and second base in the first and third innings, though. The Brewers have more chances to get to Blanton. Back to you guys.
Okay, Drew, thanks. Feliz leads off. Slaps at that first pitch, and Casey McGee throws him out. So that's good for Dave Bush. He's retired 4 in a row. Here's something, Rock? There it is. Our Aflac trivia question.
Now I do.
Who was the last Brewers hitter to record 200 hits in a season?
That's a good one.
It's been done many times, but by only a few guys, right?
Yeah, well, Ryan Braun now with 2 hits today with 191.
He's making a threat.
I mean, he can do it. I mean, 7 games, including today, left. And with the way he's been going, he may do it. He's got 8 multi-hit games in his last 12.
And when he's hitting the home run, and he got one the other way last night to win the ball game, and he's been threatening on this homestand. He's been robbed once or twice too, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
He can get hot and do a lot of damage. Paul Bacco, the 0-2, called strike 3.
And there's that patented Dave Bush. They'll come back sinker to a left-handed batter. First time we've seen that today. Yeah, starts about 2-3 inches off the inside corner. The 2-seamer. You see the grip. Tails right back, catches front of the plate.
4 strikeouts now for Bush. He has now retired 6 in a row since giving up 2 runs in each of the first 2 innings. So he's settled down into a roll right now. Had a high pitch count through those first 2 innings, but settling in nicely right now at 57 here in the 4th. So Blanton up, and the lineup in this series for the Phillies has been pretty productive. If you break it down 1, 3, 4, 6, and 7, 8, they've all had their timing together. The bottom parts of the order doing some damage in the first and third games. And then you expect the meaty guys to do their things too, and they have. Even the pitcher's role has.
Yeah, 5 of those hits for the 1 through 3 hitters in this series came in the first game.
Blanton, base hit. Well, we must have queued him up just right, huh? This is another example of what the Phillies can do for you, though, offensively. That could be infectious a little bit.
Well, you got to make good pitches. It doesn't matter who's up there. You make a mistake like Dave did to Blanton there. He gets his base hit. Fastball up in the zone. That's about all a pitcher can handle. You get the ball down on a pitcher, ordinarily you're going to get him out.
So Blanton on with the base hit. And Jimmy Rollins will step up. His third at bat already here in the 4th inning. Opened up the scoring for today by hitting a leadoff home run.
You know that graphic that we popped up with the breakdown, middle, top of the order, middle and bottom. 2 games that the Brewers won in this series. 1 through 3 hitters, 1 base hit. I mean, that's how you got to beat the Phillies. You got to keep men off base for the big home run hitters.
Good point.
But that's a lot easier said than done. They're good.
That's another good point.
They're
absolutely.
They're good hitters. I mean, Rollins, Victorino, Utley. Utley had his first base hit today.
Rollins pulls this one foul. If you look at all the major offensive categories for the Phillies, if they're not leading it, they're right there. I mean, every major offensive category.
Yep, runs, slugging percentage, home runs, everything that counts. Charlie Manuel, former batting coach, he knows all about hitting.
65-year-old Charlie Manuel trying to lead the Phillies to back-to-back world championships. This one high, evens the count at 2-2. Back-to-back, not too easy to do in sports anymore.
Not too many have done it. I mean, back-to-back postseason appearances. Not an easy thing to do ordinarily, especially you go back-to-back world championships.
Yep. 2-2 from Bush. Rollins base hit, so the inning stays alive. Blanton will go to second. And just when it looked like he was going to have an easy 4th inning, 2 on now for Shane Victorino.
8 hits now for the Phillies. And Dave Bush, is standing out there in the mound thinking this could have been an easy inning for him. He's got 65 pitches now and 3+ innings, 3 2/3. And now he's got to deal with Victorino with a couple of men on.
Ball 1 to Victorino, who doubled back in the 2nd inning, but it was a big double. It was a 2-out, 2 RBI double that gave the Phillies a 2-0 lead. Back up there again, runner in scoring position with 2 outs. This one misses high, 2-0. Just when it looked like it was going to be a little bit easy and Bush was getting in a groove, now he's hit a bump in the road. And this one misses. 3-0. Chase Utley waits on deck. And he misses on all 4 pitches to Victorino. So the base is suddenly loaded for the Phillies with 2 down. And Utley's going to step up to the plate.
I'm not sure what that last pitch was. 85 miles an hour. And maybe a BP fastball. Wasn't a changeup, I don't think. I mean, why would you throw a changeup on 3-0? First walk of the ball game by Dave Bush. And not at a very good time.
Chase Utley's had a pretty good career against the Brewers. 301, 4 home runs, 21 RBIs coming in. but he has not had a good road trip. In this game, however, if you break it down, in the first inning, his first at-bat is a triple. That's the last thing you want to see now. Struck out in the second, but now he makes a third plate appearance already here in the fourth. This one chopped back, so he's down to the count, 0-1. He's so dangerous on the base paths, and the Brewers have been able to keep him off in this series.
Yeah, for a guy that had hip surgery and really noticeably hobbling during the postseason last year, he's running well. I mean, he's been busting it down the line. Got that triple early in the ball game. That was the first inning.
Bush steps off the rubber. Utley is perfect, 25 for his last 25, dating back to last season. 23 for 23 in stolen bases in 2009. That's pretty good stuff.
You better be careful stealing bases when you've got Ryan Howard up. You'll be making outs on the bases with that big fella at the plate.
This one misses, 1-1, and Chris Smith now warming up in the Brewer bullpen.
Base hit to the pitcher, right? 2 outs, nobody on. And Dave Bush in a mess.
Kind of resembles giving up the walk or an error to start things out. This one way inside. Rivera loses the ball for just a second. Runners stay. Bases loaded. 2-1 now. The count on Utley. Chase Utley surveys the field. 2 down, bases loaded for him, 2-1 count. Bush and Rivera, let's see what they've got. This one slapped to second. And he gets out of it. Bases left loaded for the Phillies.
Well, Dave Bush doing a good job. He tried to get him with a curveball, and then on a 2-1 count, a fastball up in his zone. Chase Utley obviously struggling right now. This road trip, he's hit under 200, only 1 base hit in the series, and one of the reasons why the Brewers have won the first 2 out of 3. Keep that big guy off the bases. You're doing yourself a good job.
There's Don Money. What an asset he has been the last few weeks since the minor league season ended. Former Brewer great. Down there talking to Yo. He spent some time as Yo's minor league manager through the system. A lot of these guys.
In September, you can expand your roster, your players to 40. And you can also add one extra coach. So the Brewers elected to bring Don Money up. He's really been a nice asset down in the minor leagues, going from A-ball this year in AAA in Nashville. He's seen a lot of these players that the Brewers are currently relying on to, be the future. This will be his last day with the team. He will not join the team in Colorado and St. Louis.
Got to get that early fall vacation cranked in.
And next time we'll see Don Money, Brewers Fantasy Camp.
There you go. January 31st it all starts for you, right?
Yes, it does.
Mike Cameron called out on strikes to open up the 4th inning. Let's head over to Drew Olson. Drew?
Guys, time for Crew in the Community. It's Fan Appreciation Weekend here at Miller Park. Lots of activities going on. Last night after batting practice, the Brewers players fanned out to the parking lots to wave to the fans and hand out some T-shirts. Surprising some tailgaters, no doubt. Obviously the highlight of a tailgate party having a Brewers show up. And today at the ballpark, everybody who came received a scratch-off card. And they can scratch those off and try to win autographed items, bats, jerseys, and tickets to games for next season.
Nice.
Fun stuff. I saw a lot of people with coins out, and now I know what they were doing. As soon as they came into the park, they scratched off the ticket to see what they won. And why not? And a calendar for 2010 already. That's a pretty nice gift to look forward to and think about, ponder.
Yeah, Brewers open up at home this year, next year.
Escobar to third. 2 down. Let's see what the Aflac Duck has for us. Who is the last Brewers hitter to record 200 hits in a season? Our Aflac trivia question. Aflac. The answer is Paul Molitor, 1991.
Been a while.
There are your Brewers all-time 200 hit seasons. Coop on that list 3 times. And you're right, Ryan Braun, if he gets a little hotter than what he's been swinging the bat pretty good. A lot of base hits. You never know.
I'll just stay hot like he's been. I mean, a couple of hits a night. He does that into the next road trip. I think he will get the 200 hits. But that's asking a lot. I mean, 2 hits a night, not easy to do. A hit a night, not many can do.
Mike Rivera here at the bottom of the 4th with 2 outs. Ahead in the count 2-0 against Blanton. That one in there for a strike. Interesting to see where the Brewers go catching wise in 2010. Jason Kendall, a free agent. Mike Rivera's been his backup the last couple of years. Didn't get a whole lot of playing time whatsoever a year ago. Got a little bit more this year. Kendall has this Sunday afternoon off. (3-1) on the way, swing and a miss, so 3-2 is the count.
Yeah, Mike Rivera in his 40th game here tonight. Rivera started 15 games last year. That's it.
That's pretty remarkable.
Yes, it is.
And he draws the walk. Good at bat for Rivera. And we've seen the Phillies get some things going with 2 outs here in this game. Let's see what the Brewers can do. Dave Bush steps up. Joe Blanton got a base hit. The Phillies pitcher in the last half inning. And let's see what Dave Bush can do here. See if the pitcher of the Brewers can answer that. Dave Bush swings a pretty good bat. Down to the count 0-2. This one misses 1-2. The 4 runs the Phillies have scored have been big for Blanton because 19 of his last 21 starts he's given up 3 runs or fewer. It's been very effective.
Yeah, maybe the most consistent starter for Philadelphia. I mean, he's been able to make each and every one of his starts. 30 starts so far. 30th here today.
This one down low, so Bush draws the count full at 3-2 after falling behind 0-2. Blanton looks and throws. And misses. How about that? 8 and 9 draw walks. And that gives Craig Counsell a chance.
Joe Blanton thought that was a strike. It looked like a pretty good pitch. Dave Bush took it. And just off the outside corner.
And pitching coach Rich DeBia joined Fox Sports Wisconsin in supporting the 64 athletes from Special Olympics Wisconsin that have qualified for the National Games in Lincoln, Nebraska next July. For more information on how you can help subsidize the cost of sending these athletes to the National Games, please visit SpecialOlympicsWisconsin.org. We've had him on our Brewers Live pregame show this summer. That's a very worthy cause right there.
Yes, it is.
So after a visit to the mound, we'll look at the pitch count by inning. Brewers working them pretty good in the third and have driven it up with Rivera and Bush drawing walks here with 2 outs in the fourth. Counsell looks at a first pitch strike. That first pitch strike is where Blanton was effective early in the game. Counsell 0 for 2. This one in there for a strike, so just that fast after walking 2 in a row. Counsell down 0-2.
A good curveball by Blanton. He's got a good one.
First pitch strikes, 14 of 19 so far for Blanton. This one misses inside. It's getting windy here in the Milwaukee area. Hold on to your hats, I guess, tonight and tomorrow, right?
You betcha.
A lot of wind coming in, cold front.
That time of year.
Counsell draws you down to even at 2-2. There's Jesse. Is he up in Bernie's box up there? Oh, yeah. Hang on to the rail, Jess. Something about wind and height. I don't know.
Not a good combination.
I don't think it's a good combination. Counsell right. Did he get enough? Worth on the warning track hauls it in. And maybe that wind had something to do with that stopping. Brewers threaten, come up empty. It is 4-1. Now for our U.S. Cellular text to vote question, which feat do you think is more impressive this season? Text W for Ryan Braun becoming just the 6th player in Major League history with 100 runs in his first 3 seasons, or X for Prince Fielder becoming the team RBI record holder and team walk record holder in the same season. Text 234-234. W for Ryan, X for Prince. They're the 2 Brewers sluggers and perennial all-stars. 2 reasons why there were 3 million fans coming through the turnstiles this year.
Good call. Yeah, it's been fun watching those 2.
Ryan Howard will lead off the top of the 5th for the Phillies. All I want for Christmas is a Braun ball. A little early for Christmas, isn't it?
Never too early for Christmas.
You don't think?
It's every day for us.
Well, that's true. We're in
Being
sports.
at the ballpark.
You got that right. Howard. This one's going to get past Braun and into the Brewer bullpen for a ground rule double.
Well, ball jumping in this
Boy,
ballpark
it really
today.
is.
I'll tell you. About as well as the ball has carried all season. I mean, off the bat, it looked like a routine fly to left. Howard hits it well. I mean, that's how strong this guy is. Out away from him. Let the ball get to him. And hits a line drive that just carried over Brawny's head and one hop into that Brewer bullpen. So a good start for the 5th inning. And this may be the end of the day for Dave Bush.
Well, usually when Ken Maka comes out, it's usually a pitching change. However, he's having a conversation with Bush. Has not made a signal yet. There's Butler out of the Brewer bullpen. We've seen him get up twice already today, and Chris Smith once.
Just stalling for time, I think, to give Butler a little bit extra time. We talked about it earlier. It takes him a little bit longer to get loose because he's been a starter down in the minor leagues. But you never know. Ken Maka may elect to keep Bush in there.
Well, Dana DeMute, the home plate umpire out there, and they've all had quite a long conversation, even with the home plate umpire out there, and Bush will stay in. That's interesting. Pitch by pitch inning, or I should say pitch count per inning. In the 2nd and 4th, Bush labored. And a good 3rd inning. 73 total pitches now as Worth steps up with Howard in scoring position, nobody out.
There's only been 1 3-up, 3-down inning in this game, and that was Dave Bush's 3rd. Hasn't been too many in the entire series for that matter. Big offense by both clubs.
Worth showing bunt, takes a strike. Worth hitless in his last 20 at bats. Inside, even the count at 1-1.
Guy's got big time opposite field power.
Well, set career highs in home runs, RBIs, and doubles. Extra base hits, runs, walks, hits, and at bats here in 2009. Really about the only thing not going well for him his last 20 at bats. He hasn't produced anything.
And still 94 RBIs, a shot at 100 for the season. This will be the last road game for the Phillies in the regular season today.
Now their magic number sits at 4 entering today's action over the Braves to try to clinch the East. And the Brewers have done a pretty good job holding them at bay because they came in after their game on Wednesday night, one in which Brad Lidge blew another save, and their magic number was 5. So they've only been able to get one off the track. Braves continue to win.
Well, at least that'll keep the visiting clubhouse clean for another day.
That's right.
Another season. No more champagne baths like the Phillies were able to do last year here.
This one fouled to right. So 2-2 the count on Worth. Ryan Howard out there at second. There's the NL East, a 5-game lead over Atlanta. And we've seen some strange things happen in the East the last couple of years. So you never know, right?
Man, that's a big lead with just a week left. That's near impossible.
This one fouled away again. Took it all the way to the second deck down the line, however. Well, it is now cloudy here, so that kind of evens the visual playing field out at Miller Park, eliminates those real drastic shadows.
Yeah, hitters like that.
Here's Bush's 2-2. Big swing and a miss.
That's a good pitch by Bush. A guy that hits the ball very well to the opposite field. You got to crowd him up and in with 2-strike fastball. And Jason Worth can't believe it.
Well, Ken Mock out for the second time. That means Bush will be done. So Bush is out. One out and a runner on second here in the fifth.
Up, it's Fan Appreciation Weekend here at Miller Park. How about a little grounds crew appreciation, guys? I was talking to Gary Vandenberg before the game. The field this year has been immaculate. You know, they changed the surface recently, and Gary's very happy with where it is. And while he'd love to have October baseball here at Miller Park, those guys work really hard, and I think they're looking forward to a little time off.
It's a good point, Drew. The field has been all brand new. The grass is all even. Same texture, same surface, a beautiful logo behind home plate as well. That's becoming more popular and popular now around ballparks. So when you see the highlights, you know where you are. As you see Dave Bush in the Brewer dugout. Butler now in, and Dave Bush going 4 1/3 inning.
And another rough outing for David. I mean, you know, he doesn't want to finish his season like that. He's got one more start left as Josh Butler takes over. Third appearance for Butler. He's got 3 innings under his belt. We were talking about, you know, Butler being up and then Smith and then Butler again. That is determined by where the pitcher's spot is due up in the Brewers' batting order. When Smith was up last time, the pitcher's spot was due up in that inning. Now that you don't have to worry about that, you would expect Butler to eat up maybe 1 or 2 innings here today.
And he'll face Ibanez. And this is the second time that Butler has faced the Phillies. He pitched on Thursday. Pitched a full inning, gave up a couple of hits and a run, also had a strikeout. But just made his major league debut on Monday against the Cubs here on the homestand. And he will not put on the Brewer Grays for the road trip. As I mentioned earlier, he'll go back to Arizona and get ready for the fall league. He's got a bright future with this club, you think?
He's got a good arm. Yeah, he and John Axford, both of them throw a lot of strikes. You know, he's shown signs of wildness, but that's to be expected. I mean, first opportunity in the major leagues, a little bit of nerves. He's got a good live fastball, pretty good slider.
He's falling behind in the count to Ibanez, however, 3-0. Butler delivers and misses. So 4 pitches, 4 balls, and the Phillies have 2 on now with 1 out.
When you talk to Don Money about guys like Butler and Axford, he had them both down in the minor leagues. You know, Axford started in rookie ball and made the progression all the way to the big leagues. Butler started in A ball this year, and you go from A ball to Miller Park in the midst of a playoff chase for the Philadelphia Phillies. You would expect a guy to be a bit nervous. But in talking to Don Money about both of the guys, he was very impressed by the way they threw strikes and attacked the strike zone. Haven't seen that here.
Feliz up now, and Butler gets the first pitch over for a strike. Butler has seen all 4 phases of the minors as well this year, because he actually had some rehab starts back in rookie ball, so he's bounced around a bit, but whoa. This one, a big-time wild pitch got away from him. So the runners advance to second and third.
Made 3 starts in AAA did Butler for Don Money. Was 1-1 with a 3.60 ERA. You know, 15 innings and only 1 walk. And just a bit outside. You hope the young man's all right. I mean, look, he's moving around as though he might have hurt something.
Well, I couldn't tell if it was just a reaction of, oh my, or you're right. We will soon find out. 1-1 to Feliz. And he slaps it into left field. This is going to plate a couple of runs. Braun picks it up. Throw home is off target. And the Phillies add 2 more as Feliz comes up with the 2 RBI single. And the Phillies now pad their lead up 6-1. They've done it on 10 hits halfway through this game.
Well, they got a fastball up and in with the infield drawn in. You know, Pedro Feliz just dumps one into left field. Had the infield been back, it might have been an out. But the Brewers felt as though they just couldn't fall behind any further.
That brings up Paul Bacco. Bacco homered in last night's game. Had a single in the second inning. He's 1 for 2, including a strikeout. Scored a run. And the count even up at 1-1. Feliz over at first base for the Phillies. They have a 5-run cushion now here in the final regular season home game of 2009 for the Brewers. Milwaukee in position to try to win this series if they can rally.
Yeah, somewhat of an interesting choice bringing in Josh Butler at this point in the ball game. The Brewers are down by 3 runs at the time. Yeah, 5th inning. And with all the pitchers the Brewers have at their disposal, Mike Burns is down in that bullpen. You got Seth McClung and basically an untested young pitcher out there in the mound being asked to get some pretty big outs.
This one to left, that will fall in for a base hit. On there to cut it off. Feliz on his way to third, and he just beats the throw, and that allows Bacco to get into second. So runners at second and the third, still 1 out.
Man, just can't continue to fall behind in the count. Major league hitters are going to hurt you pretty bad. And there's the bottom of this Phillies order doing it once again. Bacco with his second base hit. You know, serves it down the left field line on a pitch up and away. That's just a good piece of hitting by the Phillies catcher.
Chris Baggio out now to chat with Butler.
Well, 2 base hits and a walk. Butler's still not able to record an out.
Well, that's an interesting scenario. You bring up a 3-run game in the 5th inning, bringing in the youngster who does not have but a week of major league experience.
Yeah, a couple of games under his belt. You know he's still nervous out there. Brewers have 11 pitchers down in that bullpen.
So this isn't just a pop quiz, it's like a major test.
Yeah, throw him right into the fire, right? Once again now 2nd and 3rd and only 1 out.
Brewer infield comes in. Blanton, the batter. He's already singled in this game. The Philadelphia pitcher cruising right along against the Brewers. He's been on base twice. He was hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning trying to bunt. This one in there for a strike. 1-1. Now the clouds have left for the moment. The shadows are back. Swing and a miss. 1-2. Josh Butler acquired in the trade for Gabe Gross back in April 2008. His first week of action in the big leagues. 2-2 to the Philadelphia pitcher. This one chopped foul. You know, it's funny I bring up Gabe Gross's name. It seems like every time I watch a big highlight reel for the Rays, he's always getting robbed of a home run.
It seems like it, doesn't it?
Why is that?
It's in some bad luck. He and Gabe Kapler both with the Rays this year.
Yeah. We had the first 2 Gabes and they're back on the Rays now. And this one misses outside. 3-2. So Butler struggling to say the least here.
And nothing doing down in that Brewer bullpen. So apparently this is going to be Butler's inning regardless.
3-2 on the way. Blanton puts it in play. Nice grab over there at third by McGee. Throws him out. So that prevents a run from coming home. That Brewer infield drawing in, and McGee using all his might to haul it in.
If he was in just another foot, that would have been a base hit. A perfectly timed leap, able to look the runner back and get the pitcher out at first base. So Casey McGee perfectly positioned. If he was in just a little bit more, that would have been 2 runs.
I don't think Blanton ever showed bunt, did he? 2 down, runners at 2nd and 3rd. Top of the order, Jimmy Rollins, who was homered and singled in this game, scored a run. He also struck out in the 2nd. First pitch in for a strike for Butler. .265 with runners in scoring position. This one misses. Rollins not the prototypical leadoff type average this year, but boy, can do some damage. 20 home runs, 21 now, and 76 RBIs.
This never walks. This guy's got 650 at bats. Far and away leading all of baseball.
That's right.
This guy's walked what, 41 times this year? That's not much for a leadoff hitter.
Butler delivers the 2-1 and misses, so it's 3-1. Victorino waits on deck. And another walk. So bases loaded, 2 outs for the Phillies.
And it doesn't get any easier.
Gets a little more difficult every batter that comes up. Victorino now there with Utley on deck. 2 down here in the Philly 5th. They've already plated 2 runs. This one in for a strike. Victorino a double, 2 RBIs. He had that big hit in the 2nd inning with 2 down to drive home 2. Butler the 0-1. This is down low. Phillies 6 runs on 11 hits in this game already. The Brewers just a single run and 4 hits. Mike Cameron a solo home run providing the offense so far. This one is second. Counsell the fielder. And the Phillies have to settle 4-2 despite threatening for more against the youngster Butler. Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
And today's Tavern of the Game winner is Slugger's Sports Bar in Appleton. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to an April or May 2010 Milwaukee Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
I like that segment that you do. Tavern of the Game. Corey Hart leads off the 5th for the Brewers. This one foul. Baco gives chase.
Recognize any of the names?
Well, I've recognized many.
He belt out? Yeah.
Many. Just recognize them, that's all.
You look like a Tavern League of Wisconsin kind of guy. And I say that as a compliment.
Well, I know it, and I take it as a compliment. Hart, base hit to left. See if he tries to stretch it out. He'll settle for a single as the Brewers are down 6-1.
Hey fans, you looking for the perfect holiday gift for your young Brewer fans? The 2010 Brewers Kids Club, presented by Associated Bank, includes game tickets, official Brewers hat, and other exclusive opportunities for kids 14 and under. They're on sale November 2009 in the Brewers team store. It's a good deal for every youngster in Milwaukee.
Boy, Sundays are great. They get to run the bases here after the ball game. Huge family day on Sundays. Ryan Braun up with Hart at first. Davey and I always got a kick out of that. You know, we do the Saturday night postgame show down there in the right field corner. And then Sunday morning we'd show up and you'd go from Saturday night date night, night out type thing to the family crowd on Sunday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting to see the transition.
Would you like to elaborate?
No. Just a good transition. I like families on Sundays. As much as I like Saturday night date night.
Yeah.
Miller Park kind of the place to be, though, isn't it? I mean, for all ages and all get-togethers.
Even for the casual sports fan, there's something for everybody in this ballpark. Fine dining, stuff for the kids. You do your holiday shopping here at the ballpark.
Well, that's right. And every day is a holiday, according to you.
It is. Every day at the ballpark's a vacation.
There's the Metavante Club. There's some fine dining going on up there right now. Got the Gale Club. I like the Gale Club a lot. That's kind of the outdoor hangout.
Yeah.
Good food in both places. Good view of the game. Good social crowd.
That's why I'm saying you don't have to be a die-hard baseball fan to come here at Miller Park and be entertained. But once you come here a couple of times, you become a die-hard baseball fan.
Well, you do. And I tell people a lot, no matter what ticket you have, you get down on the field level, the first level, you can walk around the whole stadium. You can't do that in every single ballpark. So in foul the way, Braun good at bat here to even the count at 2-2. Hart goes back to first. Nobody out here at the bottom of the fifth.
And most importantly, you don't have to worry about rain delays.
Very good point.
Or rain outs.
They're those multi-hit games you were talking about with Ryan Braun. 59 to lead the league.
And 8 of his last 12 games have been multi-hit games.
Including today. A couple of singles already for Braun. This time he goes down swinging.
And Joe Blanton continues to mix his pitches very well. Slider off the corner on a 2-strike pitch. And Ryan chases it.
Prince Fielder up with 1 out and 1 on. Prince with a walk and a strikeout in this game. Brewer hitters now just making their 3rd plate appearance of the game. The entire Phillies order have already gone through 4 times, and we're only in the 5th. Joe Blanton's pitch count has now reached 90. He's been that quality start type of pitcher on the season. It's all about low runs in a lot of innings. 21 of his 29 starts on the season coming in have been quality starts.
And whether you agree with that being a quality start or not, that 3 or less earned runs in 6 or more innings, it doesn't matter. That's pretty much the benchmark for starting pitchers these days. So
well, it is.
You got to deal with it.
Yep.
You know, 3 runs in 6 innings, a 4.50 ERA. If you consider that to be good, then good for you.
This one foul, so Prince gets another chance. But you know what? That's an interesting point you bring up, because that's the type of pitcher that Doug Melvin's going to be looking for. Not 1 but 2 but 3 times or whatever. However many he needs. Those are the type, you know, you got to fit him into the budget. You got to hope they have big years for you.
Right. But the problem with that quality start thing is that if you give up 4 runs in 8 innings, that's not a quality start. Give me a break.
Well, we'll have to rename it. Fielder fouls out to 3rd. So 2 down.
But that's a discussion for another day.
Well, maybe. But I hear you. It is interesting. Casey McGee up. Corey Hart led off this inning with a single, and Ronan Fielder made the first 2 out, so now it's up to McGee. There's a big crowd here for the finale. I'm guessing this is going to be pushing up over 35, maybe even 38, you think?
I think we're
they're
in the 40s
waiting to get
today.
loud. You think we're in the 40s?
Yeah, we were in the 40s yesterday.
They need something to cheer about. It's just been a Mike Cameron home run, and that's been it. McGee pops one up. Bacco thinks he's got room and does in foul territory. So the leadoff single goes for naught. 5 of the books, 6-1 Phillies. Wisconsin is presented by the Wisconsin Lottery and its family of instant scratch games. Odds are you'll like them. By AirTran. Go. There's nothing stopping you. And by Aflac. We've got you under our wing.
Drew Wilson back at Miller Park. Josh Butler of the Brewers getting ready to work a second inning here. The rookie right-hander came in on relief of Dave Bush in the last inning. The first 3 batters he faced, Raul Ibanez, Pedro Feliz, and Paul Bacco, have more than 30 years of major league experience. Butler's been in the big leagues for 2 weeks. Guys, I don't think he's going to see hitters like that in the Arizona Fall League.
Well, you hope not. That's a good point. That's good work by Drew Wilson there. That is a lot of big league experience, and the young man just trying his best and getting an opportunity. 2 innings here. Ken Mock would like to see him get through this inning.
Well, he's facing Utley, and the count draws even at 1-1. And that age and experience just keeps going and going and going to that Phillies lineup.
Somewhat of a difference in intensity level, huh? Here at Miller Park,
a little bit.
Last home game for Josh Butler, and then down at Maryvale in the Fall League.
A few less people in attendance and intensity on the field.
Less on the line.
Less on the line.
Valuable experience for a young man, you bet you.
He's got the count ahead on Utley now, 1-2. This one slapped into right field off the glove of Craig Counsell, so a leadoff single for the Phillies in Utley.
Yeah, the last couple of at-bats, Utley has hit the ball hard both times to Craig Counsell at second base. This one off his glove. Looked like Counsell got a piece of it. Slowed it down just out of his reach.
That brings up Ryan Howard, who got RBI number 137 on the season in the first inning with a double. And that tied Prince Fielder And they are both on top of the RBI leaderboard right now in the league. First pitch foul back. 2 for 3 on the afternoon for Ryan Howard. Fastest player in Major League history to hit his 200th career home run. That happened back on July 16th against Florida.
Another guy that doesn't walk much in this Phillies lineup. 70 walks for Ryan Howard. You would expect a lot more than that from that big guy.
Is that partly his patience at the plate and partly there are sluggers up and down this lineup?
I think it's more patience at the plate. I mean, one of the reasons why he strikes out so much, 180 times this year. And a lot of those, I'm sure, pitches out of the strike zone. You got to believe that, you know, opposing pitchers don't want to throw this guy strikes. If you're going to chase him, then, you know, let him chase him. And he will, particularly with 2 strikes.
There you go. Case in point. Butler strikes out the big slugger Howard.
Because you look at it, majority of the pitchers that he's going to face are right-handed. Jason Worth's been behind him in the batting order just about all year. And if you have first base open, I mean, who are you going to pitch to? It's going to be Jason Worth every time. But a lot of times you go after him, see if he's going to swing at pitches out of the zone. And particularly with 2 strikes, Ryan Howard will chase pitches that aren't even close.
Is that another big difference in your mind when you compare and break down Fielder's game and Ryan Howard's game?
Yeah, Prince is still going to strike out a bunch. I mean, he's well over 100 strikeouts at 133, but still it's not 181. That's a big difference. But, you know, Prince's patience at the plate has been impeccable this year.
Jason Worth in there. Takes the first 2 pitches for balls.
One thing that, you know, in defense of Ryan Howard, you know, for the most part, Prince Fielder throughout the season has not had a Jason Worth type behind him in the batting order. So they're more willing to throw strikes to Ryan Howard than they are to Prince Fielder.
Who's he seen behind him so far this year? Cameron a lot. It was Corey Hart for a stretch.
Yep, Mike Cameron, right. Casey McGee's been getting a lot of those opportunities. Jody Garrett in last night's ball game. But it's been mostly, early in the season it was Corey Hart, then it was Mike Cameron, and most recently getting most of the opportunities behind Prince has been Casey.
It's got to hurt for Jason Worth. Off his foot. Actually off his shin perhaps, huh?
Yeah, it hurts even more when you're 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
I've noticed in this series, Worth doesn't move real fast anyway.
Yeah, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and 1 strike away from his 3rd strikeout. Kind of puts you in a bad mood.
He's got a different flame for sense of urgency.
Yeah, I speak from experience.
Two and 2 the count on Worth. Back in there. Fouls this one off to the right side. Utley led off the inning with a base hit. Howard struck out, and now Worth is working the count against the youngster Josh Butler. Fouled back to the screen again. This one all the way back to the screen, gets away from Rivera. So Utley able to move up to second base, and the count moves full now on Worth.
That's got to be a pass ball right there on Mike Rivera.
And it is. And the 24-year-old Butler walks Worth. So 2 on now for Ibanez. Ibanez has been on base a couple of times, fouls this one away, singled in the second, and walked in the fifth. He scored 2 runs already in this contest. So Butler's getting a couple of big innings here on the major league level before he heads out to the Arizona Fall League.
He's throwing a lot of pitches. Well, that's 44 pitches now for Butler in an inning and a third.
That's right.
Actually, 1 inning. He came in with 1 out in the 5th.
You're right.
So he has been laboring out there. No activity in the Brewer bullpen. Smith has been up a couple of times. And Mike Rivera is having a tough time keeping the ball in his catcher's mitt. Ball must have a lot of movement.
Butler, a California native, attended the University of San Diego, played 3 seasons of baseball there before he was drafted by Tampa Bay. 2nd round pick back in 2006. Here's the 1-1. This is down and away, 2-1. We had Butler on the pregame show the other day and had to ask him about being the Derek Turnbow lookalike. He said, yeah, a few of the guys on the team have given him a hard time with the hairdo look. He may have to cut it when he goes back west. He's got a look.
Works for him.
It works for him. 2-2 to Ibanez. Rivera keeps control of this pitch. However, the count now full at 3-2. Pitcher's got to have a certain look. Some guys need to have a certain look, though. You go back in your day of when you were catching, pitchers had some looks to make them look meaner, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
This one skips away, ball 4. Rivera now sees it in front of him, and bases will be loaded. Another walk. That ball bouncing around a little too much out there.
They have 4 walks now for Josh Butler.
4 walks in technically 1 inning of work, and his pitch count nearing 50 already during that short span. And Rivera's going to go out and have a talk to Butler.
Well, you got tomorrow off. The team has a team day off before they head off to Colorado tomorrow afternoon. So you would figure that just about everybody in that bullpen should be available here today. And Josh Butler really laboring out here. Having a tough time throwing strikes. And here comes Ken Maka.
Looks like it's Chris Smith getting some extra warm-up tosses in that Brewer bullpen. So Maka's going to come out and make the double switch. And Matt Campbell's going to come in and play third for Casey McGee. So pitching change here at Miller Park. Phillies bases loaded, 1 out, already up 6-1. For his outing that spanned the course of 2 innings, but on record just 1 inning, nearing 50 pitches. And the youngster who made his major league debut earlier this week goes out and leaves kind of a mess out there for Smith to try to clean up. So tall task at hand. Double switch as Gamble comes in for Casey McGee, who got a thunderous ovation when he went into the Brewer dugout. He's become extremely popular here in a hurry, especially the second half of the season. So that was good to see. As you see Chris Smith's numbers, 31 games in the book with the Brewers, ERA just over 3. So Pedro Feliz steps in with the bases loaded against Smith.
Now Smith needs a ground ball in the worst way right here. Get out of this inning. Get a double play.
Pops him up. Gamble, who just came into the game at third base, squeezes this for the second out of the ball game in foul territory. So now 2 down with the bases loaded. And Paul Bacco steps back in. He's had a very productive last couple of days. 2 singles and a run scored in this game.
Well, you never know how much playing time Paul Bacco is going to get down the stretch, and even in the postseason with the wrist injury to Carlos Ruiz. He got a shot in that wrist a few days ago. They're going to give him some extra time. Handled himself very well behind home plate and has been swinging the bat.
Well, he's definitely taken advantage of the fact he's got steady playing time. I mean, he's really done a nice job for the Phillies. He homered against the Brewers yesterday. 3rd straight inning for the Phillies now with the bases loaded. They have not scored yet with the bases loaded. Big swing and a miss by Bacco.
Yeah, good changeup again by Smith. He has really pitched well in his times with the Brewers. Been up and down a couple of times, but always continues to throw strikes and always has that good changeup to go to in a pinch.
Smith looks, delivers the 0-2. Foul just over the Phillies dugout. Look out down there. Boy, you hate to see those.
Man, not much you can do about him either. Even if you're watching the game.
Paul Bacco takes a good look over there and wants to make sure everybody's okay, but I think somebody got hit over there. Hopefully they can shake it off. People here at Miller Park take good care of those who need it. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss by Bacco. Struck him out, so Smith comes in and eliminates any potential for more damage. 6-1 Phillies as we go to the bottom of the sixth. Still plenty of time for the Brewer offense to start getting cranked up. The Brewers right now 6-1, and they jump on Dave Bush right away in the first inning. Rollins the leadoff home run, and then Howard would follow with an RBI double. It was 4-0 after 2. Mike Cameron was able to get the Brewers on the board with a solo home run, but then in the fifth, Feliz a 2 RBI single off Butler, and the Phillies own a 6-1 advantage right now. And look at the sausage race today. Look out down there. Look out down there. Oh, Chorizo goes down. Couple of dogs down. Oh, that's going to happen. Those top-heavy outfits, boy.
Getting late in the year.
Yeah, well, it is getting late in the year. Everybody okay?
Clemens guys have had a good season.
Well, they certainly have. You can't keep a good sausage down, though, can you?
No, you cannot.
They're closing the roof here at Miller Park. Starting to rain a little bit. We experienced those higher winds that came in, cooling off a bit. Even forced you to put a jacket on.
A little chilly up here. No sense in being cold if you've got a jacket.
That's true. It is technically fall. Ooh, Mike Cameron gets hit. Blanton still in the game. Lost that one.
He has been pounding that inside corner consistently to right-handed batters. And that time got away from Cam. Cam able to turn his back just in time to get the glancing blow. It hasn't been exactly a pitching clinic out here tonight. Pitchers have had their problems. Joe Blanton still does not have a 3-up, 3-down inning, although he's only given up 1 hit, or I should say 1 run.
Alcides Escobar now steps up. So we went from beautiful sunshine and shadows to some clouds, and now the roof being closed, and it's almost going to feel like a night game in here all of a sudden. Escobar right up the middle, and maybe that's what the doctor ordered. Look at Cameron go. He's going to take third. And the Brewers got something going on here right now in the bottom of the 6th inning. They're down 5 runs, but first 2 batters reached. They're in the corners, and nobody out.
Yep, 6th base hit for the Brewers here today, and one of their best scoring opportunities here. First and third, nobody out. Escobar with a pitch down the middle of the plate about mid-thigh high and able to hit it hard into center field. You like the approach of Alcides Escobar. When he does that, he's got a chance to be a pretty good hitter at this level. He's staying top down, that inside out stroke. There are times when he gets a little bit big with his swing, trying to drive the ball too much, trying to hit home runs.
Mike Rivera steps in, trying to keep this going for the Brewers. He is fouled out and walked in his previous 2 at-bats. 308 with runners in scoring position, couple of home runs, 14 RBIs in his limited play. Mike Rivera takes the first 2 pitches for balls. He's kind of become a pretty good clutch hitter for the Brewers.
He hasn't had many opportunities, only 108 at bats. But he's driven in 14 runs with his 25 base hits. It's not a bad ratio. Had a 2 home run game early this year.
And Matt Gamble waits on deck because of the double switch. He plays third now and bats 9th. And Rivera takes high for ball 3.
Now this is what you want to do. You want to get that starter out of the game. The Philly bullpen has had their problems lately.
That's a good point. This one in for a strike.
105 pitches now for Blanton. I would imagine, regardless of what happens in this inning, this is probably it.
Clay Condrey in the bullpen. And this one in for a strike, so the count now full on Mike Rivera. Cameron at third, Escobar at first for the Brewers. Escobar takes off. This one fouled back for Rivera. Escobar back to first. Joe Blanton has been effective in his own way for the Phillies. They have responded to him in 2009, trying to pick up his 12th win of the year. Checks Cameron, throws over to first. Escobar back. And the roof is now officially closed.
Every time I see that thing close, it amazes me even more. Every time. I've seen it open and close 100 times since this place has been built, but it's amazing to me how efficient it is and how quickly this place can close up and avoid the inclement weather.
Pretty awesome experience to see it open and close, but especially to come to the park knowing you have baseball going on no matter what.
And when it's nice out, you get outdoor baseball. When it's not, you're still going to play. An engineering marvel.
I loved it a couple of years ago when Cleveland ran into all the snow. They came here and it still snowed on them, but they had the roof closed. So it made no. What did they get, about 10 inches of snow that day they were here the first day?
Yeah.
Rivera pops it up. Feliz giving chase, and he has it in foul territory. Our Ho Chunk Gaming text the broadcast. Big question for you. As you take a look at beautiful Miller Park from high above left field. We'll check that out, and here it is. Who is responsible for calling the cut on the throw to the plate? Carl Brookfield.
Well, you know the answer to that, right? The catcher, of course.
The catcher, of course, Rock.
He's the only one that really has a full view of what's going on. He'll determine whether you have a play at the plate or you have a play at another base.
Matt Gamble now with runners at first and third, one out. Catcher's responsible for a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Well,
Not to tell you something you don't know, but I mean, just to point it out.
Yeah, the only position that can actually see the whole field all the time. You see what's going on. Responsibility of the catcher to know where everybody's supposed to be on every given play. It's one thing Ted Simmons taught me very early on in my major league career, that catcher needs to be the quarterback in all these situations, and if a fielder is in a wrong spot in a particular play, you got to remind them. The catcher will yell cut and the base to throw to. If a fielder doesn't hear anything, he's supposed to let the ball go.
Gamble to center and deep. Is it enough? Out of here. Home run for Matt Gamble, and a big one, a 3-run poke. And just that fast, the Brewers are back in this ball game. This is just what the youngster can provide. One swing of the bat. And he takes advantage of his opportunity here on this Sunday afternoon.
Boy, how good does that feel for Matt Gamble? He has been scuffling, but that's his hot zone right there. Out away from him, outer half. Hits it hard into center field. The leadoff walk to Cameron, or the hit batter. And the base hit by Escobar comes around to score. And the Brewers right back in it. 6-4. Boy, Matt Gamble in the double switch, able to come up big. Boy, Joe Blanton giving up 4 runs here today after not giving up any runs in his last 2 starts.
This has been time-wise a long baseball game here this afternoon, but still a lot left to play. We're only in the 6th inning. And the Brewers taking advantage. And now down by just 2 runs. And just like yesterday, this Brewer team showing it will not give up despite the deficit. They were down 4-0 yesterday and 5-1.
They have 4-0 today and 5-1 or 6-1 in this ball game.
Counsell to second. And there are now 2 outs.
And Matt Gamble getting a pitch out away from him about mid-thigh high, a little bit above the knees, and boy, he hammered it into center field. Ordinarily, when the roof's closed and the glass panels are open, the ball still carries pretty well. If you ask Prince Fielder, that's when it carries the best. Roof closed, panels open, not much of a breeze right now. And Matt Gamble with a big home run here in the 6th inning.
Wisconsin Powerball home run total for Matt Gamble now 5. And limited play here in 2009. Corey Hart steps up with 2 down. And right away he is ahead of the count, 2-0. So that quality start out the window for Blanton. Your favorite. Hart big swing and a miss. Blanton with 119 pitches so far in this game here in the 6th.
That's a lot.
You mentioned, though, Charlie Manuel is going to want him to go as far as he can and get all the gas out of the tank because of that bullpen issue.
That bullpen has been under scrutiny lately. They haven't done a very good job in this series. And it all starts when the closer is not getting the job done. Brad Lidge having a tough time, which puts everybody else on alert at any point in the ball game. And when your closer is getting the job done, and Charlie Manuel knows that as well as anybody, everything else falls into place. When you have closer problems.
Hart to left. Fair foul. Foul ball. Boy, gave that one a ride. He might be on his last fumes right now.
Now look at the pitch count, 122. Wow. That's an awful lot of pitches for a team looking like they're going to be clinching very soon. That's how you wear an arm out right there.
3-2 on Hart. Foul right down the line. And so he stays alive with 2 down here in the 6th inning. 3 runs already in on the Matt Gamble home run. this one misses, so the Brewer inning continues against the Phillies starter. He wanted that one, doesn't get it now, and forces Charlie Manuel to come out.
Yeah, that's got to be it. 124 pitches. A ton of work for Joe Blanton. And every inning was a struggle. He did not have a 3-up and 3-down inning all day.
And it looks like he will make the change, signaling for the right-hander in the bullpen. So while the Phillies make a pitching change, Blanton out. Let's go down and check in with Drew Olson.
Well, guys, it's not only here that things are tightening for the Phillies. The Braves came back and beat Washington today in Washington 6-3 in 10 innings. You know, the Phillies are still in really good shape to win their third consecutive division title. Their magic number is 4, but they were expecting to put up some plastic in the visitors' clubhouse this weekend and get it over with. And I know there's some nervous moments over there, and they got some more work to do before they get out of here this afternoon. So any combination of 4 victories by the Phillies or losses by the Braves will give the Phillies the title. But I think it's this is not the trip that they had envisioned when they came in here.
Yeah, it's going to be near impossible for the Braves to catch the Phillies. Not that it's not possible, but it's going to be very difficult. But the one thing it doesn't allow Charlie Manuel to do is to set up his rotation for the postseason, because each day that goes by where they don't clinch, I mean, those games continue to be important. So it could very well affect the rotation for the Phillies in the division series that starts, first week in October.
The magic number entering play this past Wednesday was 5, and they've only knocked 1 off that total after all this time and 2 teams battling. As you see the National League East and then your wild card leaders, the Braves certainly not done, as they've got, especially that wild card spot, far more within reach right now.
Well, I think that's what the Atlanta Braves are actually looking at. I mean, 4.5. It could be 4 if the Brewers go on to win the ball game here today. But still in all, I think the Atlanta Braves are focusing in on that wild card race. And certainly the Brewers not only have an effect on the Phillies clinching, but have an effect on whether Colorado goes to the postseason, because the Brewers have a 3-game series starting on Tuesday against the Rockies. So although the Brewers aren't in the race, they're going to have a lot to say about who's going to be in it.
Very interesting, because if you go back to 2008, very similar situation. The Brewers were trying to hang tight in the division race, but had that wild card far more within reach, and it went down to the final day, and it could very well do that again this year. So Clay Condrey in. He pitched against the Brewers earlier in this series. Game 1 gave up a couple of unearned runs. '41st appearance of the season. He'll face Ryan Braun with Hart at first. 2 down here in the Brewers' 6th. First pitch in for a strike.
Now Condrey basically fastball slider. Probably going to try and stay away from Ryan with the slider and try to pound that sinker down and in.
Blanton goes 5 2/3, 7 hits, 4 runs, 4 strikeouts. He also had 4 walks in this game. One of those walks, Corey Hart over at first base. Braun has a couple of singles as you look at David Weathers warming up in the Brewer bullpen.
Yeah, remember on the double switch, Casey McGee taken out, so the pitcher's spot is behind Prince. That's why you have Weathers getting loose.
Braun waits on the 1-1 from Condrey. Just entered the ball game. This one misses inside. 2-1.
This could be a 1-and-out situation for Clay Condrey. If he doesn't get Braun, you're probably going to see the left-hander to face Prince.
Brewers were down 4-0 and 6-1 in this game and are within 6-4. This one misses again. 3-1. Braun remains patient at the plate. And while he remains patient, Charlie Manuel, you saw a good shot of him. This is about the time of game where he's been impatient. because that bullpen just hasn't worked out for him as of late. There goes Hart. And he's into the stolen base. So a strike on Braun will push the count full to 3-2, but Hart is at second. And if Braun can keep his single streak going, the Brewers can possibly get another run.
Yeah, good throw, would have been close, but a high throw, and Corey Hart now in scoring position.
Number 11 on the season for Corey Hart. Condrey and Braun. Full count. 2 down. Braun singles up the middle. He might go for 2. He's going to hold up, settle for the single, settle for the RBI. The Brewers played their 4th run of the 6th inning and are within 6-5 of the world champs.
How about the kid, huh? Ryan Braun, that slider away from him. Nobody handles that pitch any better than Ryan Braun. Check it out. The slider down in the strike zone. Got too much of the plate. Ryan Braun just hammers it into center field, and the stolen base by Corey Hart ends up costing the Phillies another run. And Charlie Manuel on his way out to make another pitching change, and once again the Phillies bullpen having a tough time.
Well, the Brewers do not like falling behind early, but I am sure they feel like they've got the Phillies just where they want them, because if it's time to rally, this is the time to do it. They put together a 4-run 6th so far, and it made the most of their 8 hits, 5 runs. Escalona now comes in, and while he begins his warm-ups, let's check in with Drew Olson.
Well, guys, going back to Matt Gamel's 3-run homer, the big blow of this inning, I heard Rock talking about the fact that he wasn't wearing batting gloves recently, and I noticed he's wearing them on both hands with this swing.
Well, I'll tell you why, Drew. He struck out his last time up without the batting glove. And I talked to him in the dugout a couple of days ago, because I mentioned to him, why weren't you using batting gloves? You got the base hit.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to change it up. Well, the next time he came up as a pinch hitter, he struck out with no batting gloves. So he said, I'm going to go back to the batting gloves. And lo and behold, I would imagine his next at bat will have batting gloves on his hand.
I would guess, but are you sure he did that intentionally to change the feel? He didn't just misplace them?
He might have lost them. You never know about Matty. But, he's just trying to change it up. I mean, the kid's been struggling quite a bit, and, you never know. You change your bat, you might change something else on your equipment, but you go up there and get a little bit of a different feel with your hands on the bat. You go up there with no batting gloves. It worked for him once. It didn't work for him the next time, so right back to the batting gloves, and a 3-run homer to get the Brewers right back in the game.
Sergio Escalona is now on the mound for Philadelphia. The lefty is going to face the lefty Prince Fielder. And this guy has been up and down for the minor league system. I mean, this guy could log some frequent flyer miles. 6 times he has been recalled for the minors.
Now you got 4 left-handers down in that bullpen for Philadelphia. Jamie Moyer threw 4 innings in yesterday's game. Gave up a couple of runs, so you figure you're not going to see him. But Escalona, along with Scott Air and Jack Tashner, still down in the pen.
We're in the 6th inning. Brewers have played it 4 so far, and Prince Fielder is going to try to keep things going with 2 out. Ryan Braun, who just drove in Corey Hart with the 5th run for the Brewers, waits at first. Prince takes a whack at that first pitch, and the force out at second base ends the 6th inning. But not before the Brewers score 4 big runs, 3 coming on the bat of the youngster Matt Gamble, and draw within a single run with still 3 innings to go from Miller Park. Presented by Miller Lite. There's light beer and there's triple hops brewed Miller Lite. Taste greatness. And by Toyota, proud sponsor of the Milwaukee Brewers in the Tundra Territory at Miller Park. Back at Miller Park, starting the 7th inning. And suddenly we have a very different ball game in case you were with us earlier. The Brewers have rallied within 6-5 now. Chris Smith remains on the hill for the Brewers. And our Miller Lite What's on Tap, our upcoming schedule for you. The Brewers have Monday off, then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will play at Colorado. All those games right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Then they wind up the season at St. Louis for a 3-game set next weekend. So this is the final home game of 2009. Matt Gamble can't handle the soft hit by Dobbs over to third, so he is on. And that will be an error on Matt Gamble, who came in the last inning on a double switch. So defensively commits the error, but prior to that hit a big-time 3-run home run to straightaway center to help get the Brewers back in this game. So you're going to live and die by that sword there, don't you?
Yeah, boy, famous fleeting, isn't it? I mean, a relatively easy play, a check swing off the bat of Dobbs, who has been a very good pinch hitter for the Phillies the last couple of years. Should be one out with nobody on. Kind of the way this game's been going, hasn't it?
Yep.
Nothing really normal so far.
It's our first error of the game, and we saw way too many yesterday.
Well, glass panel's closing up now.
So Rollins is up. And that was Bruntlett, not Dobbs, on the pinch hit.
Well, Dobbs got the hit. Bruntlett the pinch runner.
There you go. Thanks for straightening me out.
It's okay. Between the two of us, we'll get it.
You know, I like Dobbs' approach, though. I mean, he shows why he's such a good pinch hitter. He just stuck his bat out there and put it in play.
Yep. Well, it should have been an out. As Mitch Stetter gets loose. Phillies with 2 switch hitters at the top of their order, including Rollins, and 4 other left-handed hitters.
A nice play by Escobar. He had a beat on it just like a receiver catching a pass. And 1 down.
Yeah, which is why Mitch Stetter is getting loose. A lot of left-handed bats.
So we've got some rain in the area, Rock. You're right, everything closing up now here at Miller Park. Victorino skies one. Council's got it, 2 down.
Another good changeup by Chris Smith. Every time you see this guy, the more you like him.
Well, there was a different type of authority when he came on the mound in relief of Butler last inning. There was just a different type of authority there.
Well, the pace of the game changes when you have a guy out there that's going to throw strikes. He could throw his off-speed pitches for strikes and get early outs. I mean, he's only thrown 10 pitches. He's got 2 outs. It should be, the inning should be over.
Butler was learning some things, and hopefully he took something out of this. That will be his last appearance in a Brewer uniform as he heads to the Arizona Fall League. And the Brewers were able to stop the potential of more damage just in time as they climb back in this game. Utley lifts one to left, foul territory. Gamble gives it a run, makes a nice catch for the out. So Matt Gamble had the error to start the inning, but makes a nice catch to make up for it. No damage for the Phillies.
Ben's E-Class assist of the game. Matt Gamble on a double switch comes into the game and blasts a 3-run homer in the bottom of the 6th inning to pull the Brewers within a 6-4 deficit, and then to end the inning in the top half of the 7th. He comes up with a great play over a third after committing an error. Telly Hughes, Davey Nelson back with you, getting set for Brewers Live post-game, sponsored by Lincoln Mercury. And Davey, that was one great inning for the Brewers and something they can build on heading into this bottom half now.
Well, they certainly can, and what a nice double switch by getting Gamble in the game, and then he delivers with the big 3-run homer.
Yeah, and that was a nice poke, dead center. Once again, he was able to come in and have a 3-run homer, and we are getting set for our on-field instructional. As a matter of fact, since this is the last home installment of Brewers Live, we're going to bring you the best of the instructionals throughout the entire season. So Craig and Rock, you guys got the night off.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. Jody Garrett gets robbed over there at second base by Chase Utley to start out the bottom of the 7th. He was in the pinch hit for him there. Nice defensive play there.
Yeah, good airtime by Chase Utley. Boy, he's feeling pretty good. And didn't even lose the glasses. Well, off the bat, that looked like a base hit in the webbing, and Chase Utley with a perfectly timed leap to haul it in. Yeah, the Phillies have played good defense all year.
Chad Durbin now in pitching as well for the Phillies out of the bullpen. Pitched against the Brewers on Thursday. An inning and a third. Walked a couple of batters, including a strikeout, but inherited 2 runners and stranded them both. So he did his job, and Charlie Manuel looking for another cause like that here this afternoon as the Phillies cling to a 6-5 lead right now over the Brewers. Mike Cameron ahead in the count, 2-1, homered in his first at bat. And got hit in his last at bat. So he scored 2 runs. He's been productive today. Takes a strike.
And Durbin, one of those guys with another good late moving fastball. He's got some sink on it when he gets on top. Gets a lot of ground ball outs.
Cameron grounds this one foul. Weathers gets loose in that Brewer bullpen. Chris Smith did a nice job in relief for the Crew. Called strike 3 on Cameron. So Alcides Escobar now comes up. 2 quick outs for Durbin. Escobar singled and scored in the 6th inning. First one in for a strike. The Brewers have done a nice job of rallying the last couple of days, trying to take this 4-game series. Escobar attempts a bunt, but is able to pull back for a ball.
Well, good idea. You know, the Brewers would like to see him do that a little bit more often. Get the bunt base hit. Usually you don't want to do that with 2 outs and nobody on. You'd like to get yourself in a scoring position, but when you're as fast as Escobar, you get the bunt base hit and steal second.
Boom, boom, right?
Boom, boom, and then drive him in.
Escobar, base hit, and it may get into the gap. It is cut off out there by Ibanez, but you can't stop that speed. A single for some, a double for Escobar.
Well, he hit that one right on the nose. Fastball in, and Escobar able to pull the hands in and rip it just out of the reach of Rollins. It looked like Rollins was going to be able to grab that one. Didn't miss it by much. And Ibanez is able to get it before it gets to the gap. But Escobar too fast. He's in with a 2-out double.
It's another way of using your speed, right? Well, he really motors.
Turns singles into doubles.
That's right. So the tying run sits at second base with 2 outs here in the 7th inning for the Brewers, and Mike Rivera will get his 4th turn of the day. He has fouled out twice in this ball game and walked. Be a good time to pick up his first RBI. He's usually good for a clutch hit a game when he starts. Takes that first pitch for a strike. Doesn't like it.
Ball down. Yeah, Dana DeMuse called a pitch on Mike Cameron that was down a little bit. That pitch clearly low. So you go from not calling anything for a strike to 1 down at the shoes. That's a terrible call. That's a big spot in the ball game too. Big difference between 1-0 and 0-1.
Rivera rolls it to third. That's the final out of the 7th inning. Brewers come up empty, 6-5 Phillies. From 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Midwest Airlines Center. Brewers on deck is the Winter Fan Festival that will help bridge the gap between the Wisconsin winter and spring training. Tickets can be purchased at the Miller Park ticket office. You can also call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com. Roof closed, panels closed, and windy, rainy, cooler conditions kind of came out of nowhere here at mid-afternoon. And Brewer fans, once everything got closed up, got a little generated up because their team got back in the ball game. So it's a 6-5 game as we go to the top of the 8th inning now. David Weathers in to pitch for the Brewers.
Now 66th appearance for Stormy, a 377 earned run average. Now hoping to get a clean 8th inning. Good work last inning by Chris Smith. An inning 2/3 of scoreless baseball, bringing some semblance of order to this ball game for the Brewers defensively.
See, in a day like this, it's a perfect nickname for David Weathers, Stormy. He likes pitching inside when it's stormy outside.
Big man getting the shift like Prince Fielder.
This one fouled away. Count now 1-1 for Ryan Howard.
Had a check swing base hit. I think last night he had a check swing base hit third base, which is why Matt Gamble isn't swung around as much as he was. He also hit a ground ball to third base earlier today.
That's right. Yeah, that was last night.
So they have adjusted the shift a bit. In the first 3 games of the series, they would have had Gamble playing up the middle where a shortstop would have played up the middle.
Ryan Howard has driven in a run on a double. That came in the first. He scored a run in this game. So a pair of doubles for Ryan Howard, and he's worked the count 3-1 now against Weathers to lead off the 8th inning. This one fouled right into the Brewer dugout.
You know, we've been watching that American League Central Division. The Tigers and Twins, 2 games separate them. They start a big 4-game series tomorrow in Detroit. That's going to be an interesting one to watch. But going into that series, both the Twins and the Tigers lost today. Tigers lost to the White Sox. Twins fell to the Kansas City Royals. So it stays at 2. It's going to be a fun series to watch this week.
Just when he thought it was all over a couple of weeks ago, right? Big swing and a miss by Ryan Howard. And that's the first out of the inning.
They got him up in the strike zone. I think David Weathers did that by design, trying to elevate that fastball. So a big first out for David Weathers. A high fastball, a little bit of movement on it. Our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Anytime you get that out, that's a good delivery.
Boy, you got that right. Up next is Jason Worth. Takes first pitch for a ball. Well, the Brewers trying to rally this one and try to get back to the 500 mark as that pitch in for a strike. The Brewers have won 11 of their last 16 games. The last time they were at 500 was back on August 15th, when they were 58-58. Also trying to win, or at least post 3 consecutive non-losing seasons and winning records. They haven't done that since the late 80s. And it's interesting when you look at manager Ken Maka in his career at any level, the minors and the majors, he has never had a losing season. This one just misses. 2-2. There's the skipper. Here's the last pitch.
It looks a lot like the one that Mike Cameron got rung up on. A bit of a moving strike zone here today. And because of that, Jason Worth able to get the base hit.
So 1 on for the Phillies. Ibanez now comes in, and that snaps an 0 for 21 stretch for Jason Worth.
I would imagine Mike Rivera had a bit of a chat with Danny DeMuth when he went back there and warmed up David Weathers. Now that last at bat for the Brewers, a ball that was clearly low, called a strike. Always have to have a good rapport with the home plate umpire when you're back there behind home plate. But there are ways to state your case without irritating the man in blue, or in black in his case.
That's some delicate stuff, though.
Yeah, well, you got to be careful. I mean, fine line between saying that's not a strike and making sure that your pitcher gets that same pitch, which apparently Weathers did not do against Jason Worth. Whereas Worth's about 6'6". Could have something to do with it.
That could be. How many conversations did you have in your career like that?
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah.
You know, there are times when an umpire will say to you, "Hey, I just missed it." At that point, the conversation's over. What else do you say? You just don't miss it again, right?
Exactly.
It's when they become a little bit obstinate by saying that that was a strike. That's what irritates players. I mean, everybody knows umpires aren't perfect. Players aren't perfect, either are the umpires. But now, if they're going to admit they made a mistake, I mean, that kind of shuts up players. It really does. Not much you can say about it.
One and one to Ibanez and David Weathers. This one misses outside. Worth is over at first. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Phillies and Brewers have gone down to the wire the last couple of games. Yesterday, the Brewers were fortunate enough to pull it out in the bottom of the 9th inning and win it 7-5 on Ryan Braun's home run. As you saw Mitch Stetter out there in the bullpen. This one misses down low, so 3-1 the count now on Ibanez. Single, couple of walks, and 2 runs scored today. Much more productive game 4 than the rest of the series for Ibanez, who missed some time with the flu, as Rock mentioned earlier.
Yeah, bottom 3 in the batting order have been on 8 times for the Phillies. What's new?
Well, this scoring sheet's pretty filled up for the Phillies. Worth tries to steal a base, and very acrobatic jump in the air for Ibanez to save that one from going into center field. So he's got the stolen base.
Oh, Vera just didn't have a good grip on that baseball, because a good throw and Worth's an out at second. Not a very big lead. Check it out. I mean, if that ball is on the bag, it's an easy out at second base. Not much on it in high.
And ball 4 to Ibanez. So first and second, 1 out. Pedro Feliz will come up. Weathers struggled a bit against the Phillies when he pitched on Friday. Third of an inning, 2 hits, 2 earned runs. Wants to change that around right now. 2 on, 1 out. To Counsell. Escobar, fielder. That's the way to get out of it. The 4-6-3 to end the threat in the 8th inning. Brewers come to bat, down 6-5. Ball game. Let's take a look at the long ball. Rollins led off the game with a home run. Phillies were up 1-0. They build a 4-0 lead before Mike Cameron in the second. A solo shot, number 23 on the season for him. And then Matt Gamble, a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 6th. That got the Brewers back within 6-4. 6-5 is our score right now. Time now for our U.S. Cellular text to vote results on the week. And Prince Fielder, his feat is most impressive, you thought, after you texted in the RBI and walk record for a single season for the Brewers over Ryan Braun, getting his 100th home run in a span over the first 3 years of his career. Gamble lofts one to center, and Victorino takes care of it for the first out. Let's check in with Drew Olson.
Hey guys, the Brewers just announced today's attendance of 37,197. A nice crowd here in the last home game of the season. That pushed the season total to 3,037,451 provided we don't go extra innings and squeeze some more people in here. And today's crowd, guys, included, Craig, you mentioned before that basketball season's almost upon us. University of Wisconsin coach Bo Ryan and Marquette's Buzz Williams were at the game today.
Wow, were they sitting together?
No, different sides of the stadium, but I can't say whether they crossed paths or not. I don't think that was intentional.
Good stuff, Drew. There's a little battle going on there, between Marquette and Wisconsin.
Yeah. Who's been getting the better of it?
It's been pretty even, to be honest with you. Another broken back, Council. And Howard flips for the out. Corey Hart at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Very productive afternoon for Hart. A couple of singles, stolen base, and a run scored. Seems to be getting a little fresher and fresher every day for Corey Hart. He had the emergency appendectomy, missed a little over a month. Really a critical time of the season, just when he was starting to heat up. He had a tumultuous first half of the season. Two down here in the Brewer eighth.
Tumultuous, huh? That's a big word.
Hasn't been good.
You got to remember that one.
September wasn't good and the first half wasn't good. He knows that. He wants to somehow make up for it, but the appendectomy got in the way.
Right. He was starting to swing the bat right before that.
Sure was. Activity out there in the bullpen for the Phillies. Corey Hart's worth the count to 3-1 in his favor. Ryan Braun waits on deck. And this one outside, so Corey Hart draws another walk. Ryan Braun's going to get a turn, and boy, he's had himself a nice Sunday afternoon. 3 singles. And what if he got an extra base hit here if Corey Hart can use his speed? But we will face a new pitcher. Charlie Manuel comes out. And looks like he is going to work the double switch with 2 down here in the 8th inning. Six to 5 our score. Phillies lead the Brewers, bottom of 8. So a pitching change made here at Miller Park. Looks like the Phillies making an outfield change as well, so we'll get things straightened out. Ups out of the bullpen for the Phillies. While he does that, let's check in with Drew Olson.
Well, Craig and Rock, it seems like a long time ago, but Dave Bush actually started this game for the Brewers. He went 4 1/3 inning, gave up 9 hits and 5 runs. He walked 1, struck out 5. When Dave Bush looks back on this season, it's not going to be very hard to find the turning point. Since he was hit by that Hanley Ramirez line drive June 4th in Florida, his earned run average is 9.06. And the Brewers could take him off the hook today if they tie this game or end up winning it. But Dave Bush is, he's shown flashes that he's ready to come back and healthy, and he looks good in sequences, but he just hasn't had the consistency. And Rock, I know that's what it's all about, is throwing strikes and getting ahead of hitters. He hasn't been able to do that.
Yeah, and he was arguably, the most consistent starter for the Brewers before that line drive in Florida. He tried to pitch a couple of games, but just didn't work out for him. And he started to throw the ball better once again. His first couple of outings after coming off the disabled list after 2 months, a little bit shaky. Then he put together some pretty good outings, and then he had to go back home. The birth of his son, again, a little bit of a disruption in his routine. And I don't know if there's too many players, let alone pitchers, that are more routine-oriented than Dave Bush. And it's obvious that something is a little bit out of kilter for him, because we've seen him walk a lot of batters in one outing, get behind. He was getting everything up in the strike zone, and I think Dave Bush is going to be very anxious to get this season over with. He's got one more start left, and I think he's looking forward to a fresh start in spring training and get more of a less tumultuous season.
You used it.
Is that good?
Very nicely done.
Does that work?
Very nice. Very nice. You're absolutely right. Ryan Braun waits on deck. I should say waits to bat near the on-deck circle. How about last night, bottom of the ninth, 5-5 game. And this one's gone for the game winner for Ryan Braun. Exciting way to end Fan Appreciation Night. And a Brewer come from behind victory. They were down 4-0 last night. They were down 4-0 and 6-1 in this game. And it is a 6-5 game right now, Phillies, as Ken Maka observes what the Phillies changes were. Ryan Madson comes in to pitch. Ben Francisco comes in to play left field for Ibanez on the double switch. So Francisco will go in the pitcher's slot number 9. Madson to Braun, big cut.
And then Madson with a tremendous changeup. That's his best pitch. Big, tall right-hander. Fastball, changeup, probably going to see to Ryan Braun. He'll also throw a slider. This is a guy that the Phillies have used as a closer from time to time.
And they've got Corey Hart in a rundown. And Howard picks him off, and that's how this threat will end here in the 8th inning. So Braun will have to wait for the bottom of the 9th. The Brewers 6-5 as we move to the top of the 9th inning. And Mitch Stetter is on the pitch for the Brewers. Nice crowd here, more than 37,000 on hand, as Drew mentioned a few moments ago. And now Stetter will make his 70th appearance. ERA at 3.77. Opponent's batting average at 220 for Mitch Stetter. He's had for the most part, a really successful 2009. Ran into a bump in the road like a long season will produce, but seems to be back on track. And he will face Paul Bacco here to lead off the 9th inning. That pitch misses. 2-0 now to Bacco.
Yeah, 2 pitchers now in that Brewer bullpen with 70 or more appearances. Todd Coffey, now Mitch Stetter with his 70th here today. That's a lot of work for Mitch Stetter. A lot of that coming first half of the season. Nearly unhittable in the first half, but in the second half has had his problems. Perhaps a little bit of fatigue.
2-1 on the way. This one misses outside, 3-1. It's always good to get some extra help along the way. That bullpen has changed a bit since the first half of the season. I mean, the September call-up certainly helped. Bacco fouls this one off.
Acquisition of Weathers and Vargas have proven invaluable for Ken Maka. He's relied on those 2 guys a lot late in the ball game, particularly Vargas. Claudio Vargas has become the setup man for Trevor Hoffman in the 8th inning.
Michael fouls another 3-2 pitch off to stay alive. Sutter pitched in Friday's game against the Phillies. Faced Ryan Howard and allowed an RBI single in his only batter appearance. And this one in for the strike. So a good way to start out the 9th inning for Mitch Stetter.
Virtually unhittable to left-handed pitchers or to left-handed hitters early in the season, and Paul Bacco takes a pitch right down the middle of the plate for the first out of the inning.
So now Ben Francisco will step up as Ken Maka directs his defense. Willie Randolph, boy, they've done a nice job. Brewers defense for the most part has been pretty good this season. Improvement over 2008. Another strike, 0-2. This one just misses low. One-two on the way. Inside, 2-2. A lot of anxious fans here want to see the Brewers close out with a victory. Down to the final inning to give it a try. 6-5 Phillies. This one fouled straight back to his teammates.
Yeah, Francisco started the first 2 games of this series while Ibanez was fighting that stomach flu. A couple of hits his first game on Thursday. Took an offer on Friday.
This one popped to right. Corey Hart gets under it. 2 gone in the 9th inning. And they'll bring up Jimmy Rollins in the top of the order.
Looks like it's going to be Ryan Madsen in the 9th inning for the close. It's ordinarily a time when you would see Brad Lidge, but he has struggled mightily lately. Actually came in the 7th inning a couple of days ago, trying to work out some of the problems that he's had. So kind of a surprise that Lidge will not be pitching the 9th.
Madsen has been used in that role. And when we see him in that role again, it'll be an opportunity for the save. But he has 8 saves and 6 blown saves. A sign of tremendous inconsistency out there. We know Lidge's story, 11 blown saves. Amazing from a year ago, isn't it?
That could be a problem for him in the postseason.
Stetter 1-1 to Rollins. That's in there for a strike. Stetter throwing a lot of strikes. This one just misses to even the count at 2-2. Rollins has been on base 3 times in this game. Had the home run to lead off the game earlier. And Rollins down to the left field corner. This will go for extra base hits. Rollins running hard will stop at second base as Braun gets it in. So a 2-out double for the Phillies. Rollins in scoring position.
Now Rollins has been on base 4 times today. 3 hits and a walk. So doing a good job at the top of the order. Been an awful lot of base runners for the Phillies. They have stranded before this inning 13 runners. Had the bases loaded in 3 consecutive innings. They should be in double digits in runs scored if they got a big hit today.
That's a good point. That's a lot of stranded base runners, especially in a one-run game. Brewers got to feel pretty good about being in this one.
And Mitch Stetter would like to strand one more.
Shane Victorino takes the ball from Stetter. And this pitch also misses. 2-0. Well, this is a team you know you can come back against because of the struggles with the bullpen, Rock, but it's also one that can get an insurmountable lead as well.
Yeah, well, you got to shut him down right here. I mean, you can't give him a 2-run lead. And Mitch Stetter in danger of walking another runner. But he's got a couple of lefties coming up. Chase Utley and Ryan Howard. Not exactly two guys you want to be pitching around to get to.
And this one hits the inside corner for a strike. 3-1. Stetter delivers. And hits the spot again. 3-2.
Yeah, good slider that time. Yeah, fastball in, slider in. High percentage strike rate here. Probably throw him another slider.
This one pulled foul.
It was a slider, and he tried to backdoor it on the outside corner. Fans getting their money's worth here today.
Boy, they sure are. Big hug for Dad. Stetter checks Rollins. Popped him up. Rivera's got a beat on it. And a huge out. Phillies come up empty here in the ninth. 6-5. we've seen it all here at Miller Park. Even the roof closing in the middle of the game. And now to the bottom of the ninth we go. Ryan Madsen delivers to Ryan Braun, who was the big hero last night, with the game tied 5-5. Bottom of the ninth and a runner on. He hit the game-winning home run. Does he have heroics on the final game of 2009 like he did back in 2008? Brewers need a run to tie things up. And Braun working the count 2-0.
Well, big difference for Ryan Madsen pitching the 8th inning and the 9th inning being the closer. He's got the 8 saves, but he's blown 6 of them. And behind Ryan Braun, 2-0.
Braun to right. Now this one's going to go foul into the second deck. Got some good power on it. And the count now 2-1. That would be a tumultuous turn as a closer. Are we done now?
Yeah.
All right. Sun peeking through the glass here at Miller Park. We've seen a rainstorm come through here too. 2-1. Ron Tapper, third. Felice. That's him out. Let's check in with Drew Olson.
Guys, you were talking about Brad Lidge's struggles for the Phillies. Last year, the guy was unhittable. He was 48 for 48 last season in save opportunities. This year, he's 0-8 overall with a 7.51 ERA. The league is batting .307 against him, .394 in September. And are you ready for this? In his 8 losses this season, Lidge has faced 43 batters, and they have an on-base percentage against him of .690.
Man. So it's not just base hits, it's walks as well.
Fielder the other way. Fair ball down to the corner. Extra bases for Fielder. And he will stop at second base, and there's your tying run.
Beautiful piece of hitting by Prince Fielder. You know, a lot of home run hitters who go up there trying to pull everything, end up grounding weakly to second base, but Prince stayed right on that sinker, working him away, and slices it down the left field line. That's why he's just not a home run hitter. He's a good all-around hitter, around 300, and this is why right here. He takes what the pitcher gives him.
Felipe Lopez now in the pinch hitting role. That pitcher spot turned out to be the number 5 spot after the double switch. Greg Counsell started for Lopez at second on this Sunday, but now Lopez in there. 5 for 13 in the series, a good homestand, 11 for 30.
Nice having a .312 hitter to come up there in a situation like this.
Ryan Madsen with Fielder behind him at second base. Delivers to Lopez. Takes a stride. Brewers put up a 6 spot in the 6th inning to get back into this game. Big blast coming off the bat of Matt Gamble on the 3-run home run. Lopez takes it inside, 2-1. Crowd of more than 37,000, and many of them have stayed here and want the Brewers to finish out the regular home portion of their schedule with a victory and a chance to get back to 500 overall in the season. Final week of baseball's regular season. Here's the 2-1. Lopez fouls it off.
Yeah, Madsen, along with that good changeup, has a fastball in the mid-90s. Well, he can run it right by you if you sit on that off-speed pitch.
Got the rally caps on here at Miller Park. Lopez bounces one back to Matson. And he'll take the out at first, and Fielder will move over to third. However, there are 2 outs in the ball game, but Prince only 90 feet away. He's the tying run.
Yeah, good pitch by Matson, able to tie up Lopez inside with a fastball. And Prince Fielder able to get to third base.
Well, now they get on their feet at Miller Park. Mike Cameron up. And all he's done in his last 4 hits overall is hit 4 home runs. How about 5?
That'd be nice.
And nearly ties the game, but this one just fouled down the right field line. Hit a solo home run and was hit by a pitch, scored a couple of runs. Big cut and a miss for Cameron.
Yeah, 94 outside corner. Good juice on that fastball.
Cameron down 2 strikes. This one high for a ball, 1-2. Fielder the tying run at third. Strike 3 called, and this game is over. So the Phillies escape with a 6-5 victory in a series split against the Brewers.
Now Ryan Matson went with a fastball. Outside corner at the knees. Not much you can do about that if you're Mike Cameron. And a tough loss here at Miller Park for Milwaukee.